It's Tuesday, July 14th. Today, more than 400 guns, an antique cannon, and $300,000 in cash. Which former MP has been accused of firearm trafficking and how many charges he's now facing. Also today, mind the curb. How many more traffic calming structures are going up across the city as drivers give mixed reviews? Plus, buckling under extreme heat, where decades-old records were smashed by the weekend's sweltering temperatures, and why drivers should be aware of roadway buckles during extreme heat events. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Tuesday to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Ainsley is live this morning in the Exchange District. In fact, pretty much telling us all about the Fringe Festival. Lots of different performers from around the world. And we're going to get a sneak peek of some of the productions you could check out for yourself, as well as some of the interesting stories that are being told. So we're going to have that throughout the morning. But again, another scorcher day yesterday. My flowers are really showing it.
I'm scared to go up to the roof to see those planters. I've been trying to give them a lot of water. They've been wilting. But yes, good news for all those plants out there. We're going to get a break in the extreme heat today. I think so many of us have been wanting it. Still going to be hot. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, but not to the degree with the humidity that we saw yesterday. Currently, it's 18 degrees under mainly clear sunny skies. Winds are out of the north-northeast this hour at 10 kilometers per hour. Pressure's on the rise, humidity sitting at 85%. Good amount of sunshine on the way to kick us off, and then clouds build into the afternoon. Meanwhile, you start to see this disturbance push over the Saskatchewan border there, bringing a strong chance of rain and thunderstorms to Brandon, and then likely joining us a little later. I don't know why that graphic's there. There we go. We do still have some weather alerts in effect. Most notably, our heat warnings and watches in southern Manitoba have lifted, but they do remain in effect through this area of central Manitoba. And there's also some air quality advisories still in effect in the Paw. That's because smoky conditions persist from those wildfires. In terms of our futurecast, gives us a better sense about how the day will unfold. You see some cloud coverage to the southwest building for us into the afternoon, and it's barely registering, but there's a chance of rainfall and thunderstorm activity, as mentioned, in and around West Man. Meanwhile, to the northeast, a strong chance of rain and thunderstorms in Churchill, and a slighter chance of just rain through the rest of the north, about a 30% shot. Likely you're staying dry. A sure shot of some precipitation comes overnight there into southwest Manitoba, and joining us in Winnipeg into tomorrow. That means we see a little break in the temperatures and a little bit of rain. You can see the back half as well. Another system coming up there, likely bringing rainfall off and on through the back half of this week. In terms of temperatures, there's the break in the heat, 29 degrees, still above seasonal. But tomorrow, our temperatures really come back down, 25 under that rainfall.
Thank you, Catherine. A former Manitoba member of Parliament is facing a litany of charges after Mounties allegedly seized hundreds of firearms at his home. RCMP released these photos showing some of the 439 guns they say were seized from a home in Dauphin last Tuesday. They also found an antique cannon, ammunition, and more than $300,000 in cash. Investigators say it will take several weeks to document all the evidence, but so far they believe 3 guns were illegally trafficked. 1 had its serial number tampered with, and most of the firearms were improperly stored.
So this investigation origins date back to March 23rd, 2026, when RCMP were notified that firearms charges had been laid in the United States against a 73-year-old Dauphin area male. This prompted a further RCMP investigation that resulted in more charges being laid against that individual. While executing a search warrant for that file, the RCMP found and seized firearms that were purchased by a second suspect and never lawfully transferred.
78-year-old Inky Mark was arrested and released from custody with conditions. Mark was mayor of Dauphin before serving 13 years as the MP for Dauphin Swan River. He's facing more than a dozen charges, including firearm trafficking, possession of a restricted or prohibited weapon, and unsafe storage. A reminder, those charges have not been tested in court. People in the city of Brandon can breathe a sigh of relief. The Assiniboine River, which flows through the city, has peaked and is stable.
The river levels are forecasted to remain high. for a few days before a slow decline begins.
Brandon's mayor, Jeff Fawcett, says the river peaked overnight Sunday into Monday at 1,179.49 feet. He says as long as there's no additional rainfall, it's expected that the river will stay at its current level for a bit. Manitoba's second largest city has been preparing for the rising water over the past week by deploying sandbags and tiger dams to protect residents and infrastructure. But just because Brandon's preparation efforts has put it into a good position does not mean it's fully out of the woods just yet. Fawcett says some of the most dangerous times for residents comes after peak levels have been reached.
As floodwaters withdraw, riverbanks can become unstable due to erosion, saturated ground can give way unexpectedly, and damage to flood protection measures may not always be immediately visible. Areas that appear safe may still present significant risk even when water levels are dropping. So fast-moving water remains dangerous. Debris can emerge, erosion can weaken shorelines, dikes, and nearby infrastructure.
Evacuation notices were issued for areas around the river last week, but no orders are currently in effect. City crews are monitoring the areas being impacted by high water levels. Brandon remains in a state of emergency. A warning now about another rapidly rising tick-borne disease. CTV's Adrian Gobriel on why health officials are putting out an alert now.
All grass and along nature trails, a growing danger is lurking. Black-legged ticks have been expanding their geographical footprint in Canada, driven in part by milder winters. And now this Canadian Medical Journal report is flagging that a number of ticks aren't just carrying Lyme disease, some are spreading anaplasmosis. While rare, the tick-borne disease can be fatal.
There have been, unfortunately, 3 or 4 deaths related to anaplasmosis in the province of Ontario in the last 1 to 2 years.
They thought that he was not going to make it.
During a long nature walk with his dogs in Halifax, Nova Scotia in July of 2022, Perry Horn believes he was bitten by a tick.
He had a high fever, so much so that the bed was shaking.
He was sent home after his first 2 trips to Dartmouth General Hospital. Doctors initially thought he had COVID, though with his health rapidly declining, he was rushed back to the ER for a 3rd visit.
I woke up, my fingers were purple. My heart and kidneys were failing.
By noon the next day, the doctor was rushing him to the ICU because he wasn't getting any better and they had no idea what was going on.
It's there in the ICU that Horn was diagnosed with anaplasmosis. The most recent national data shows there were roughly 5,800 reported cases of tick-borne illness in Canada in 2024. More than 2,300 of those cases were found in each of Ontario and Nova Scotia. More than 830 were reported in Quebec, though case counts that include anaplasmosis are now believed to be even higher.
Doctor that looked after me said I was possibly the first case in Nova Scotia.
Anaplasmosis is now the 2nd most common tick-borne illness in Canada. The Horns are sharing their story to spread awareness across the country.
Nearly took me.
I had no idea if my husband was coming out of ICU.
Federal funding for TickNet Canada that brought together doctors and researchers who are battling the rise in tick-borne diseases came to an end in March, along with vital work that was being done. The government agency responsible for the cutbacks was unable to answer our questions before our deadline. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Hamilton, Ontario.
It's the end of an era in a community northeast of Winnipeg. The grain elevator in Lebo is coming down. The elevator has stood in the community since 1946. A spokesperson for Greenwald Colony, which recently bought the property and elevator from the RM of St. Clements, says they'll salvage whatever they can, such as metal and timber. But they say much of the building was rotted out and would cost close to $1 million to fix. They say they have not yet made a decision on what to do with the location. People in Ottawa had a chance to get their medical questions answered while also getting some exercise.
Great to bring in the physicians or, specialists out into the community and non-invasive, like not like a white coat, and very stiff.
The RA Centre held its first ever Walk with the Doc event over the weekend. Walkers had a chance to chat and ask some questions to Dr. Kyer Mantang, an ICU physician at Ottawa Hospital. This first walk was such a hit, more being planned in the coming months. Here's a look at what's happening in traffic now on the Norwood Bridge. Barely anyone here just yet. So far, a good start to your day. If you see any problems out there, though, send us a text, please, at 10400. Let's go down to Ainsley, who's hanging out in Old Market Square. The Fringe Festival is officially beginning today, or tomorrow. Good morning.
Yeah, tomorrow, and the Cube is going to be full of people, whether you're here for a food truck, live performance, or Kids Fringe. It's in its 39th year, the second largest Fringe festival in North America, and you can see about 140 different shows, everything from comedy to what we're looking at here, a sexy pigeon show. My goodness. Today we're going to get a performance of, I believe it's like puppets, but using shadows and original music. So definitely people getting creative. And of course, local talent, the money staying with the performers. So stay with us for maybe a live performance. I'm hoping maybe the Finger Poppers will do their thing.
Fun. All right. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. There will be a lot of sunshine again today, so it will create lots of shadows.
Yeah, I wanted to give the planter check here. I finally just gave it a little bit of extra water because I think so many plants have been drooping under this extreme heat, but at last we get a little bit of a break in those conditions. Not dramatic or anything, but definitely not with those humidex values that we saw yesterday, which felt at times like the mid-40s to remind you. Right now, though, a lot more pleasant, 18 degrees, pretty cloudy, or sorry, pretty sunny out here. One or two clouds, there's the words I'm looking for. Winds are out of the north-northeast at 9 kilometers per hour, pressure rising, humidity sitting at 83%. We're already starting to see clouds roll in here in southern Manitoba. We're going to start with those clear sunny skies. An increase in cloudiness is expected throughout the day. Temperatures still above seasonal for Winnipeg, that's 29 degrees. Similar highs in the upper 20s expected all throughout southern Manitoba. But again, that humidex more into the 30s than the 40s, a far cry from yesterday. Winds will also be decent, moderate out of the northwest at 20 kilometers per hour. Meanwhile, there's a strong chance of rainfall and thunderstorm activity coming to Brandon and Neepawa. Dauphin, Swan River, you have about a 30% chance as well. Meanwhile, a low pressure system that's been impacting the north still hovers over the northeast, bringing a good chance of rain to Churchill and a smaller chance of rain throughout the rest of the north. Temperatures there also in the mid to upper 20s, very pleasant with a good amount of sunshine. We're going to take a break. I'm going to finish watering these plants, but stay with us. Plenty more CTV Your Morning Winnipeg on the other side.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Good morning. The sexual assault trial of Peter Nygaard in Montreal was over in one day.
There are no perfect cases. I was ready to proceed, which means that I was convinced that I was able to obtain a conviction in this file.
Nygaard was facing charges of sexual assault and confinement in alleged assaults that took place during the 1990s. Nygaard accepted a plea deal and his lawyers didn't present any evidence. The judge then found him guilty on both counts. Sentencing is delayed until at least October. Nygaard is already serving an 11-year sentence for a separate sexual assault conviction in Ontario. He's also facing similar charges in the U.S. Now to an update on a wildfire burning near a First Nation in northern Manitoba. About 12,000 hectares have burned near OPCN, according to its chief. All but 71 essential community members were evacuated on July 7th, with members now in Winnipeg, Brandon, and Thompson. Manitoba Hydro says around 30 poles are damaged and will need to be inspected to determine a repair timeline. OPCN's leadership says Hydro needs to do more to mitigate future power problems.
There is a lot of preparedness that Manitoba Hydro has to do in order to prevent forest fires, and they know. And they promised us that they would help, like clear cutting, preparing these poles to prevent, but that support has never been there. And in situations like this, even the supports within the community, it seems like they're the last department to act.
Manitoba Hydro says it has fire mesh wrapped on more than 150 poles near the First Nation, and community members were hired to cut trees where safe to do so. Hydro also tells CTV crews will work to restore power to the community as quickly as possible, but at this time the blaze and shifting winds are making the area unsafe. A tense wildlife confrontation between a tourist and bison inside Yellowstone National Park. A massive bison charged a 65-year-old man and his grandson. The grandfather tossed almost 3 meters into the air. A witness said the agitated animal settled near the campsite moments before the brutal attack. The man's family says he got surgery for a broken femur and is now recovering. The city is expanding a pilot project aimed at slowing down speeders near schools and crosswalks. Last year, temporary curb cuts were installed at a number of locations. Now the calming measures are being built at 9 new sites. Here's CTV's Jeff Keel with how they work and how well it's going.
An odd-looking structure like this popping up on the side or right in the middle of the street.
Well, what they gonna do here?
These are temporary traffic calming devices meant to curb speed. The city installed some at select locations last year, and now they're doing 9 more this summer at Jefferson and Roberts Crescent, Flora and King, Main and Dufferin, Talbot and Elmwood, Cumberland and Edmonton, River Avenue near Arctic, Westminster and Ethelbert, John Forsyth and South St. Vital Trail, and South Glen Boulevard and Hurt Crescent.
This whole movement of traffic calming on older design streets is new and emerging.
The city says the curb cuts, as they are known, are placed near schools and crosswalks, where speeding and collisions are a problem, where intersections have wide corners, and at crosswalks with poor visibility. They say speed dropped by 10% on average at last year's installation sites, so some are welcoming the added locations like this one on South Glen.
I think it's phenomenal. I walk down here with my kids all the time, going to the playground. No one stops at this crosswalk, so it's just not enough.
It's a lot of traffic and a lot of congestion, so I think it's a good idea. It keeps the students safe.
But other drivers, as well as a number of people online, worry the new measures may be hazardous.
All of a sudden it's there, and then there's people coming the other way too, so I think it's an accident waiting to happen.
Actually, it's not supposed to be here. Yeah.
You don't like it?
Yeah, actually, I don't like it.
Public Works Committee Chair Janice Luke says where it's determined the curb cuts are not working, they will look at something else, like a speed hump. And where they are slowing traffic down, permanent measures will be built when the road is renewed.
This is what the city's doing, these pilots, to see what works and what doesn't, and before we permanently build it in.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
We won't know which, if any, of these sites will get permanent measures until the fall. Those details are expected to be shared in an annual report from the city. As for the ones installed last year, the city says it received less than 10 complaints about the temporary curbs, and it says 1/3 of the calls were from people requesting them. Horses aren't the only four-legged creatures hitting the track at Assiniboia Downs.
And they're off! And there they go. Not sure if it's Percy, Tofu, it could be Wilson, might be, that could be Stevie.
Finding the fastest pup on the track was no small feat Monday evening at the Downs. Extreme temperatures delayed races by about an hour to prevent hot dogs and horses. After race 3, dust flew as 20 dachshunds went paw to paw. The night's top dog was Hershey, who, as you can see, received plenty of kisses from fans during the award ceremony. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning on St. James Street. The northbound curb lane will be closed from Bangor to Notre Dame Avenue. All northbound lanes on Golding Street will be closed from St. Matthews to Sargent Avenue. And all eastbound lanes on Logan Avenue will be closed from Cecil to Quelch Street. If you have any other traffic tips, please send us a text at 10400.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
A sunny and much more moderate start to your Tuesday. It's 18 degrees with a couple clouds out there, for the most part nice and sunny. Winds are out of the north-northeast, very light. Pressure's on the rise, humidity sitting at 83%. Yes, a marked break in that extreme heat today. I think many folks were just really sick of that humidity because, yes, they were punishing conditions. Already you can feel the difference this morning. We're starting off with humidex values not really in effect and more moderate temperatures. For example, 18 degrees in Portage and Gimli, 16 in Dauphin, Swan River at 15 degrees this hour. Island Lake, your weather reporting system still offline, but again, I'll remind you, I believe it's about 15 degrees in that neck of the woods, 16 in Thompson, 18 in the Paw. So yes, we still have weather alerts in effect while our heat warnings and watches have lifted in southern Manitoba. They do remain in central portions of the province. That's because the threshold to trigger one of these is a little bit lower with temperatures because of their seasonal values. Also continuing, there are some air quality warnings in and around the Paw area as those wildfires continue and that heavy smoke not moving around too much. In terms of our temperatures here, we're still going to be above seasonal. So while there's a break in the humidity, it's still going to be a hot day. 20 degrees as we kick us off under clear sunny skies, and then the clouds build into the afternoon. Partly cloudy skies around 2 with a high with 28 degrees. And we're not changing too much in terms of our temperatures, and we do start to see those clouds build with winds ramping up out of the northwest at 20 kilometers per hour. We'll get a little bit warmer than that. 29 is our projected high. 26 is what's typical. Overnight, mostly cloudy skies, 18 degrees, and then into tomorrow, a shift. We're likely going to be dealing with rainfall off and on throughout the day, a below seasonal high of 25 degrees, and then by Thursday we keep that cooler temperature and we lose the rain for a short period before it rejoins us on Friday. Your Skywatch picture of the day, a stunner in Norway House Cree Nation taken by Angela. Gorgeous sunset over that Norway House Cree Nation sign. Thanks for sending that in, and keep yours coming to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca.
Good morning. Do you have a glorious garden? Here at Your Morning Winnipeg, we love to see how you're passionate about your yard work. It could be an annual, perennial, or vegetable. Tell us about your garden and enter the contest to win a $500 gift card from St. Mary's Nursery and Garden Centre. Plus, have the chance to show off your garden live on Your Morning Winnipeg with a visit from Ainsley McPhail. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form with your answer and your photos. Good luck. Some teens in Calgary ditched their smartphones for old flip phones, a change that led to new insights about the brain. CTV's Kathy Lee explains.
Scroll, tap, repeat. For many people, doom scrolling on their smartphone has become second nature. That's how it was for Jarrett Gross.
I always felt like I wasted a lot of time, and it was also hard to stop.
Last November, the 17-year-old decided to make some changes, so he ditched his smartphone for a flip phone where he could not access social media apps and started noticing improvements in his overall well-being.
It's pretty good. I like it way better. I think life is better on a flip phone.
He wanted to know if those changes could be measured, so he asked some of his closest friends to take part in a case study. They switched to flip phones for a couple months while a psychologist conducted before and after brain scans. Dr. Blake Osmos led the experiment, which included a questionnaire.
In the measures for depression and stress levels, as well as anxiety, they dropped like immediately.
And for the brain scans,
what we saw is a decrease of those alpha brain waves in the frontal lobe, which can be correlated with brain fog.
Most of Gross's friends eventually returned to their smartphones, but he is still committed to his flip phone. The teen joins a growing trend of people seeking them out.
This is Nokia phone.
Jerry Ede runs an e-commerce business selling refurbished cell phones and says more and more people want the old school version.
5 years prior, it used to be just seniors that are buying flip phones. But right now we are seeing even the younger generation.
Ede adds that parents are also looking for flip phones for their kids.
And asked, why are you buying a flip phone for your kid? Because I don't want them to use social media.
Gross says he is more present now that he doesn't have easy access to social media on his cell phone, and he hopes his experience encourages others.
I can message people, call people,
to rethink their own screen time. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
This tech would come in handy at Costco on the weekends. The truck stop on the I-94 near the border between Detroit and Windsor is always packed. Parking spots can be hard to find. The stop is now turning to drone technology to keep track of parking. Data about capacity and open spots are fed to drivers in real time. This way they can decide if it's worth their time to stop. And if they do stop, they'll know where open spots may be. Here's the look outside now. It's a beautiful start to the day. We're going to take a break now. We'll be right back. And today, another hot day.
But much less oppressive than yesterday, Rochelle. But yeah, I want to manage expectations because while, yes, that humidex won't be as extreme, our high is still above seasonal. So definitely still going to be a bit of a scorcher out there. But again, just not that really sweltering, brutal highs that we were seeing yesterday. Currently, it's just much more pleasant out there. 18 degrees. It's definitely the time of the day to get out if you do not enjoy the heat. Sunny and clear. Winds out of the north-northeast at 9 kilometers per hour. Pressure on the rise. Humidity sitting at 83%. We start off clear, clouds joining us likely later on today. However, you are starting to see this little system here push over the Saskatchewan border, bringing a good chance of some rain and thunderstorm activity to Brandon and Nipawin, lesser extent for Dauphin and Swan River. Meanwhile, our heat warnings and watches have lifted in southern Manitoba, but they remain in effect in central portions of our province. That's because the threshold for those warnings, being triggered are lower with lower temperatures because seasonal highs are lower here. There's also ongoing air quality warnings in effect in and around the Paw from those wildfires that continue to cause those smoky conditions. Not the case for us here. I mentioned those clouds building into the afternoon, getting mostly cloudy by about 5 p.m. Highs, though, 29 degrees above seasonal. As I mentioned, 26 is what's typical. Winds staying pretty moderate out of the northwest at 20 kilometers per hour. Overnight, mainly cloudy skies, winds persisting out of the northwest, temperatures dipping down to 18 degrees. And then into tomorrow, a cold front moves in, bringing a period of more moderate conditions and some rainfall as well. 25 degrees, a 60% chance of showers for us under those lighter winds. From there, we're going off and on with the rainfall. Thursday, it's likely to stay at bay with just cloudy skies, 25 degrees as we remain below seasonal. And then it likely joins us overnight again on Thursday into Friday, 28 to close out the work week. But then we're rebounding under the sunshine into the weekend.
Thank you, Catherine. Some roads and highways in southern Manitoba are suffering under the intense heat. Winnipeg City crews could be seen Monday afternoon in the Polo Park area working on this buckled road. A spokesperson for the city says they don't track calls for buckled roads specifically, but say emergency maintenance crews haven't been able to keep up.
Well, it's really difficult to predict where on a roadway it will happen because it depends on many conditions like traffic and what's going on underneath and the condition of the concrete to begin with, and whether there's curves in the road.
On Monday morning, a portion of the perimeter highway was shut down for the same reason. Concrete buckling happened on at least 7 highways Sunday, including stretches of Highway 75, 59, and 8. The province says highways are cut at intervals, giving concrete room to expand. But buckling can happen if those joints are filled with sand and dust. Thompson RCMP are asking for the public's help to find a missing 26-year-old female. According to police, on July 9th at around 11 p.m., they received a report that Cheyenne Dorian was missing from where she was last seen at her residence on McGill Place in Thompson. Dorian is still believed to be in the Thompson area, and police there are concerned for her well-being. She's described as 5 feet tall with a medium build and shoulder-length brown hair, possibly with red streaks. She was last seen wearing a gray and black shirt, gray sweatpants, and red sneakers. Anyone who has seen Cheyenne Dorian or has information about her whereabouts is asked to call Thompson RCMP at 204-667-6909 or Crime Stoppers. A nonprofit in Saskatchewan is trying to help expand the use of artificial intelligence across the province. CTV's Allison Bamford on the push to improve AI literacy.
Not too long ago, Alex Fallon didn't know much about artificial intelligence.
I've kind of been learning as I go.
Now he uses it every day.
I kept your last cigarette in the glove box like a relic.
Drawing inspiration for poetry in his spare time.
So I'll take what it provides and then I'll make it into my own.
And developing briefing notes and presentations at work. Fallon is the founder of Artificial Intelligence Saskatchewan, a nonprofit dedicated to growing the use of AI across the province.
Providing people with the opportunity to learn about AI gives them the chance to decide for themselves to what extent they want to use it in their home life and in their workplace.
The organization is developing a program to teach the basics of AI, what it is, what it can do, and the guardrails in place. Intended as a stepping stone for beginners.
For AI to spread, more and more people need to start using it.
The program follows the release of Ottawa's national AI strategy last month. That set goals of making Canadians more AI literate and boosting the number of businesses that use AI from the current 12% to 60% by 2034.
Canadians in general
are quite literate compared to the global population, but also a little bit hesitant.
Western University's Chief AI Officer Mark Daly says hesitancy is a sign that Canadians are literate and understand AI enough to think critically of it.
I'm an educator, so of course I think the solution for hesitancy and fear is education. If you understand what it is you're dealing with, then it's easier to integrate that into your life.
AI literacy is a spectrum. Fallon says he isn't an expert, but experimenting with the tools has been one of the best ways to learn.
What could I ask it to do?
AI Sask has a goal of teaching 10,000 people, whether that's individuals, small businesses, or not-for-profits. They plan to launch their courses in the fall. Allison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The chief coroner in New Brunswick released a report finding unsafe sleep practices were a contributing factor in 20 child deaths over a span of almost 6 years.
We ended up deciding that we had enough data, we have enough time spent, that we know this is a trend, that we know this is not getting any better.
Child Death Review Committee found unsafe infant sleep practices were either a direct cause or a contributing factor in 36% of all deaths of children under the age of 2 between January 1st, 2020 and September 2025. The review also focused on what it referred to as the growing influence of social media narratives that are promoting some unsafe sleeping practices. Federal health authorities recommend that infants sleep alone on their backs in a crib or bassinet free of blankets, pillows, and toys. Ontario has now spent $8 million to keep U.S. alcohol in storage. The province pulled $80 million worth of American alcohol off LCBO shelves 16 months ago in response to U.S. tariffs. An audit says almost all of the booze is still good. About $2.5 million worth of alcohol spoiled back in March. Ontario Premier Doug Ford maintains U.S. alcohol will stay off the shelves until the tariffs are dropped. Here's a look at traffic now along McPhillip Street. Things are moving quite well in this part of the city at this point in the drive. If you see any problems out there, though, please send us a text to let us know. And here's a look at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.59. It's a small drop from yesterday's amount. And the lowest price in the city is $1.51. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
The Winnipeg Fringe Festival starts tomorrow. We're going to find out about the 140 shows you could check out for yourself. Stay with us.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
My, what a difference a day can make. Yesterday, I was on the roof. I was sweating at this hour. The Humidex was already making it feel closer to 30, 35 degrees. Right now, there's no real Humidex in effect. It's 18 degrees, pleasant and sunny. Winds are light. Pressure is rising. Humidity is sitting at 83%. So, yes, we are experiencing a break in that extreme humidity, but let's not get wild. It's still going to be a hot day. Highs are expected in the upper 20s throughout southern Manitoba under increasingly cloudy skies and moderate northwesterly winds at about 20 kilometers per hour. Meanwhile, a low pressure system that's tracking in from Saskatchewan brings a good chance of rain and thunderstorms to Brandon and Neepawa. A lesser so chance, but a chance nonetheless to Dauphin and Swan River. Meanwhile, rain likely also impacting Churchill today, as well as thunderstorm activity, while the rest of the north, blanketly, has about a 30% shot. Temperatures there, lovely, a little bit more mild than here in the south, about 25 degrees. It will be your high today. All right, we're going to head over to Old Market Square, where it's my favorite time of year, the Winnipeg Fringe Festival. Good morning, Ainsley.
Well, lucky for you, it kicks off tomorrow in its 39th year. Its executive director is joining me now, Chuck McEwen. Let's talk about where we're standing, because that's a big part of Fringe, bringing everyone together. And I love what our feet are doing too, Chuck.
Artificial turf for the very first time. The families are going to love it. We are in Old Market Square Park in the heart of the historic Exchange District, which has been our home for all 39 years. This is our hub of activity.
Well, tell us about that activity tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow we kick off at 5 o'clock here in the park with a little announcement, followed by some little snippets of shows from Fringers right into our evening entertainment. And so it's going to be free for the families from Wednesday all the way to the end of the festival on July 26th.
And Fringe goers can be excited because there's over 150 different companies?
From across the world. So we've got lots of artists from Manitoba, across Canada, as far away as Australia, Switzerland, Germany, you name it. They're coming here to entertain Winnipeg Fringe fans.
Oh, I love it. And the different genres, too, that it encompasses.
Well, you know, that's exactly the point. If you're new to the Fringe, it can be a little overwhelming with so many things to choose from. But just pick something you like. If you like improv comedy, great. If you like musical theater, great. If you like spoken word poetry, no problem. We've got puppets, cabaret, you name it, it's in the Fringe. We even have an opera this year.
Well, you know what I say? Try something new as well. One thing that I love is the affordability, giving people the option to have a lower cost, but also pay what you can for the kids' shows.
Yeah, so we have a venue called the Kids Venue. It's got 5 plays for children under 12. And tickets, if you show up at the door, are just pay what you can because we want it to be accessible to anybody in our community. And for the regular adult shows, it's between $10 and $14. So that's still relatively affordable compared to a movie. And so you pick a show out of the program and take a chance.
We talk about bringing people together, but I personally love food and beverage. That's a big part of it as well, bringing local businesses here.
Well, you know, we've got all kinds of local restaurants that have food trucks and carts and things like that. Nucci's Gelati, for example, India Palace, longtime favorites here at the Fringe. They'll be set up around Old Market Square Park, so you got a lot to choose from, plus desserts and ice cream, you name it. And of course, we've got our beer tent and patio.
I love how you led with ice cream and gelati and then closed it off with beer. Oh, more coming up on Your Morning Winnipeg.
Here's a look at the early markets. The Dow Jones fell 406 points. The Nasdaq climbed 108. The S&P index slightly dropped. The Canadian dollar increased set to 71 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng added 127 points, and the Nikkei is 500 points higher. Good morning. It is 6:46. Manitobans sizzled under intense heat this weekend, breaking more than half a dozen records Sunday. According to Environment and Climate Change Canada, 7 communities experienced their hottest July 12th on record. Carberry and Gretna each beat heat records set back in 1969, reaching 34.7 and 35.8 degrees respectively Sunday. Fisher Branch bested its record set in 1979. Less than a degree earned Grand Rapids and Portage la Prairie new records, while McCreary and Shoal Lake beat records set back in 1979 and 1964 by much wider margins. The weather agency says Gillam, Gimli, Kleefeld, and Swan River all tied their previous heat records. The Winnipeg Regional Health Authority says 3 care homes in the city are currently without central air conditioning. A spokesperson says a mechanical issue at Middle Church Home is being fixed as quickly as possible, with air conditioning in common rooms and portable equipment being used to offer some relief. Temporary air conditioners have been installed at Donwood Personal Care Home following flood-related damage last month, and air conditioners have been put on each floor of Pembina Place Personal Care Home to offset some of the AC issues there. The number of workplace injuries in Manitoba caused by violence is on the rise, according to a new report. The study, called Ending Manitoba's Workplace Violence Epidemic, was conducted by the Manitoba Federation of Labor. According to the report, which contains data from the Workers' Compensation Board, the number of workplace injuries caused by violence has more than tripled between 2015 and last year. This increase includes a 20% jump in the last 2 years alone. The report contains 10 recommendations to better protect workers, including implementing a province-wide workplace prevention strategy. It also recommends funding safe staffing levels in sectors like healthcare, education, and emergency response.
These statistics are damning. It is up to us, it is up to the unions, and it's up to the people in the society to say, we can't take this, we're going to stop it.
The findings also include interviews with 38 workers who provided insight into the scope of the issue. 10 occupations accounted for nearly 80% of all-time loss workplace injuries last year. Some of those occupations include home support workers, nurses, bus drivers, security guards, and early childhood educators. The report also found women are disproportionately affected by workplace violence at 60% of all-time lost workplace violence injuries. It also noted that 25% of the workforce is not covered by WCB, and therefore some statistics might actually be higher than recorded. Now to a new vision for a St. James landmark.
when we go back to the 1829, 1830, 1831, and we look at actually who Cuthbert Grant was. He was a community leader. He brought the people together. And that's exactly what we're doing again today.
Grant's old mill has been closed for the past 2 years due to significant structural concerns. A new plan to rebuild and reimagine the historical replica was announced over the weekend by the St. James Assiniboia Pioneer Association. The 10-year plan for the park includes a refurbished mill, a Métis Veterans Memorial, an amphitheater, and festival space to showcase cultural and community programming, plus a new interpretive center with a cafe and local artisan market.
And with the interpretive building, it will be open 12 months out of the year. It will house some of the artifacts of the mill, as well as provide a space for community groups.
The association is actively working to fundraise and secure donations for the $850,000 restoration project. They hope to reopen in 2028. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning on St. James Street. The northbound curb lane will be closed from Bangor to Notre Dame Avenue. All northbound lanes on Golding Street will be closed from St. Matthews to Sargent Avenue. And all eastbound lanes on Logan Avenue will be closed from Cecil to Quelch Street. If you have any other traffic tips, let us know, please.
It's looking crystal clear for your drive. There's the good news. 18 degrees, so your air conditioning probably won't get the same workout it got yesterday. Pretty clear skies, decent light winds out of the north-northeast at 9 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising, humidity sitting at 83%. A shift today with our temperatures. It's finally going to be a little bit less in terms of that extreme heat. Those intense humidex values likely not to be felt today. It's still going to be hot, but a more marked cool down is on the way. I'll have details on that in a moment. Meanwhile, we see this little creeper coming in over the Saskatchewan border, likely to bring rain and thunderstorm activity to parts of southwestern Manitoba. Details on that in a moment. Meanwhile, while we have had those heat watches and warnings lifted through southern Manitoba, they remain in effect throughout central parts of our province as the threshold is a little bit lower, And then on top of that, there's also still ongoing air quality warnings in and around the Paw area. Also to the northeast, there's a good chance of some rain and thunderstorms coming to Churchill. A lighter chance of that same system affecting the rest of this region in Thompson, Gillam, and Island Lake. Temperatures there above seasonal, very warm, 28 degrees in Thompson, 29 in Island Lake, 27 in Gillam, about a 30% shot of that precipitation. That same chance comes to the northwest as well, with temperatures very similar, hot in the upper 20s with moderate northwesterly winds at 20 kilometers per hour. I mentioned that chance of rainfall and thunderstorms, most notably in the Brandon and Neepawa area, about a 60% chance, while Dauphin and Swan River likely staying dry with highs a little bit cooler than yesterday, but still above seasonal. For us here, increasing cloudiness into the afternoon, highs in the upper 20s, winds out of the northwest at 20 kilometers per hour. Northwestern Ontario, rain potentially about a 30% shot, maybe some thunderstorm activity, highs there cracking the 30-degree mark. Overnight temperatures dip down to 18, that marked improvement in our heat, 25 tomorrow under that rainfall likely all day.
Thank you, Catherine. Let's check in now on the team at 103.1 Virgin Radio. Hi, guys. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday to you. Today is July 14th.
Yep.
Two things on this date about the same building. July 14th, 1955, they officially finished construction on the old Winnipeg Arena. July 14th, 1966 this time, first appearance in Winnipeg by the Rolling Stones.
Wow.
Okay, so two significant milestones involving the old Winnipeg Arena on this day, July 14th. What is the best thing? You can play along in your head, everyone. Just think back. It's the best thing you've ever seen at the old Winnipeg Arena. This was not planned, by the way.
Not at all. It's real coincidence. But this is my first concert.
You know
this
what?
Actual tour, Motley Crue, Dr. Feelgood.
Me too.
What?
That's my first concert ever in my life. Yes. That I was just going to say that.
There you go. Me too.
And I just saw the Crew 2 weekends ago.
Nice.
Rachel Legacy.
Rachel Legacy.
We want to go out with you on a Saturday.
You're fun. Update.
Well, I saw Motley Crue
That
5
is
times,
awesome.
actually. 5 times I've seen them.
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm a
nice.
fan.
3 for me.
That's so cool.
I love
So
those
the shirt
shirts.
thing wasn't planned, by the way. Yeah. Like, that was just fluke.
Yeah, just happened.
Wait. Do you have a Motley Crue shirt?
I do, but it's not that
Wear
one.
it
I'd prefer a Dr. Feelgood because it was my first concert, but I don't have that one. I have the concert 3 concerts ago, I think. And my daughter actually wore it at the Crew concert when I went 2 weeks ago. She's now a fan.
Nice. Are y'all allowed to wear like rock t-shirts on TV? You should.
Yeah, I don't think that would fly.
That'd be awesome.
I don't know.
I would just love to see you in one, Rochelle.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
That is so great. Oh, the segment done?
I saw Kenny Rogers.
Oh, that's a cool one.
I saw the Timu record-breaking goal. That's how I was going to throw in the throw.
Such a fun topic. We can talk about this all day. Thanks, guys. A former paragliding instructor is keeping busy rescuing animals far from home. CTV's Adam Sawatsky has the story.
This is Luna. Although his dogs are all different, and this is Kilo and then Nani. Jason Biggins says they all have one thing in common. All rescues. Why? As a kid, so I always had a connection with an animal. As a kid, Jason also always dreamed of flying like a superhero.
You know, I can picture Superman saying that up and away and then just free, gone.
But it wasn't until he was in university and tried paragliding for the first time.
You feel like a superhero. It feels magical.
That Jason thought he'd found a way to realize that dream.
That just captivated me, and I was hooked for years.
For decades, Jason taught paragliding around the world. And during one of those trips, he and his wife rescued their first animal.
A starving pup came up out of the bush, and we scooped that pup up and brought her back to health.
Jason and his wife ended up living with 9 rescue dogs before someone suggested he combine his passion for animals with his passion for flying.
An idea of service, I think, it just seemed to fit.
So, when Jason retired, he earned his pilot's license, bought a family member's 7-year-old plane, wow, this thing climbs, and volunteered to pick up wildlife in far-flung places before transporting them to animal rescue centers. So I've got the seal pup on board, and we are looking good. Because airplanes can fly in a straight line fast, a rescue that might take a day by land and sea can be accomplished in less than an hour by air.
That can be the game changer for an animal that's injured or, orphaned.
When Jason started getting so many calls to help, he launched a charity called Big to the Rescue and began sharing visuals of his passengers on social media, which have earned millions of views.
Nothing really cuter, I would have to say.
And nothing really better than this.
I'm present and I feel like I'm doing what I'm meant to do, and it feels great.
Because even better than learning to fly like a superhero is wielding that power to help like one. Pretty special that I can help little critters. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, North Saanich.
That's sweet. All right, we're going to take a break now. We'll be back after this with your 7 o'clock headlines. Stay with us. It's July 14th, Tuesday, July 14th. Today, firearms seized. A former Manitoba MP faces multiple charges after RCMP seized hundreds of firearms and cash from a Dauphin home. Plus, flood watch. Brandon's river has peaked, but the city remains under a state of emergency as crews stay on alert. And Jets signing. The Jets lock up their top draft pick as the 8th overall selection signs his first NHL contract. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. It's 7 o'clock on your Tuesday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, we know summer months tend to have more people outside, whether they're doing yard work, they're on their ATVs. So far, the RCMP say there have been 5 fatal ATV collisions in our province. And so we're going to find out a little bit more on what that looks like compared to past years, as well as some safety reminders on how to operate those vehicles and who should not be on them. And if you are on them, what kind of safety equipment you need as well. But when it's this hot, people might not necessarily want to even be outside.
No, I guess maybe being on an ATV safely can kick up some wind and cool you down a bit. But yes, it's kind of the weather where you just want to stay inside and the gentle, light clutches of the cold air conditioning, because wow, when you're outside in this heat, it can be pretty brutal. I'm happy though to report that we are seeing a break in that extreme heat. So the Humidex values yesterday feeling in the mid 40s. Today still hot in the 30s, but really nowhere near what we were dealing with yesterday. 18 degrees. It's a much more pleasant start to the day. Clear and sunny. Winds are light. Pressure rising. Humidity sitting at 83%. These clear skies are going to be semi-short-lived. short-lived because we're going to be dealing with increasing cloudiness throughout the day in southern Manitoba. Also potentially short-lived is the dry conditions over in and around Brandon, because you can see this kind of party crasher moving in from Saskatchewan, bringing a good chance of rainfall and thunderstorm to Brandon and Nipawin, lesser so to Dauphin and Swan River. Meanwhile, while our heat warnings and watches have lifted here in Winnipeg, they do remain in fact in central portions of our province, as do some ongoing air quality warnings, of course, about those wildfires that have been ongoing and so devastating for a number of weeks. So those smoky conditions expected to continue. We also get a better sense of how the next couple days will play out as some colder air wraps into us here in southern Manitoba, cooling down that extreme heat and maybe bringing some rainfall. So this is that first system I told you about, just a real glimmer passing through southwestern Manitoba. Then overnight, we did see those clouds I want to mention, and a couple of little speckles to the northeast, a strong chance of rain in Churchill. But then this here, much more organized system, likely to bring rainfall overnight to the southwest and throughout the day to us here in Winnipeg. A good amount of rain and with it a drop in our temperatures. But we got to get through today first. 29 degrees, a touch warmer than what's typical. And then tomorrow that cool down comes with the rain with a high of 25. Your weather art of the day, Amina, age 7, drew this. I love this. It's all the different seasons, summer, spring, winter, fall. Just lovely. Thanks so much to Amina for all her talents. And if you want to submit your child's weather art of the day, be sure to visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form, because your art can be shown on your Morning Winnipeg, but it's also going to enter you into our monthly contest. You could win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle at the Kenniston and Regent locations.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery, now open on Regent and Kenniston.
A former Manitoba member of parliament is facing a litany of charges after Mounties allegedly seized hundreds of firearms at his home. RCMP released these photos showing some of the 439 guns they say were seized from a home in Dauphin last Tuesday. They also found an antique cannon, ammunition, and more than $300,000 in cash. Investigators say it will take several weeks to document all the evidence, but so far they believe 3 guns were illegally trafficked, 1 had its serial number tampered with, and most of the firearms were improperly stored.
So this investigation origins date back to March 23rd, 2026, when RCMP were notified that firearms charges had been laid in the United States against a 73-year-old Dauphin area male. This prompted a further RCMP investigation that resulted in more charges being laid against that individual. While executing a search warrant for that file, the RCMP found and seized firearms that were purchased by a second suspect and never lawfully transferred.
78-year-old Inky Mark was arrested and released from custody with conditions. Mark was mayor of Dauphin before serving 13 years as the MP for Dauphin Swan River. He's facing more than a dozen charges, including firearm trafficking, possession of a restricted or prohibited weapon, and unsafe storage. A reminder, those charges have not been tested in court. Now to an update on a wildfire burning near a First Nation in northern Manitoba. About 1,200 hectares have burned near OPCN, according to its chief. All but 71 essential community members were evacuated on July 7th, with members now in Winnipeg, Brandon, and Thompson. Manitoba Hydro says around 30 poles are damaged and will need to be inspected to determine a repair timeline. OPCN's leadership says Hydro needs to do more to mitigate future power problems.
There's a lot of preparedness that Manitoba Hydro has to do in order to prevent forest fires, and they know. And they promised us that they would help, like clear cutting, preparing these poles to prevent, but that support has never been there. And in situations like this, even the supports within the community, it seems like they're the last department to act.
Manitoba Hydro says it has fire mesh wrapped on more than 150 poles near the First Nation, and community members were hired to cut trees where safe to do so. Hydro also tells CTV crews will work to restore power to the community as quickly as possible. But at this time, the blaze and shifting winds are making the area unsafe. U.S. tariffs have created economic uncertainty that's simply too much for some businesses to stomach. Trade watchers in Canada are nervous about departures from this country. CTV's Abigail Beeman on those eyeing a move south.
This is Fiber, a farm equipment manufacturing company in Crystal City, Manitoba, co-founded by Derek Friesen's dad.
We love our people and our communities.
But Friesen says the current climate of U.S. trade uncertainty, combined with Canadian red tape and regulations, has him musing about a move south of the border.
I don't know if it's in our very short term, but at some point, if this continues, we definitely will have to continue to service our customers.
There's certainly certain advantages of moving production to the U.S., including, having a more streamlined supply chain, access to a larger customer base.
A new survey from KPMG shows 42% of Canadian manufacturers are considering moving production south or already have. 57% have paused, cut back, or canceled capital investment projects. And 61% say their business can't survive without access to the United States.
Canadian companies are no longer in the wait-and-see mode.
Canadian manufacturers and exporters saw similar results from their own survey. The CEO says trying to work around tariffs makes Canadian companies less competitive.
It is the worst of all worlds when you have a situation where you can't really predict what the future is going to be.
Dennis Darby says members are watching Toyota's decision to move some production out of Mexico closely.
I think it's going to be the largest plant in the world, car plant, and they're moving into the United States. And again, they're doing that to avoid paying the tariff.
I think the worry meter should be high.
International trade lawyer William Pellerin expects to see similar moves out of Canada, though any potential automaker move won't happen in the short term due to government backing.
For sure it will happen in the wood product space. We're seeing that with our clients right now in that space. A lot of small towns will go from having an important manufacturer to nothing.
KPMG found 11% of Canadian manufacturers plan to move their headquarters to the U.S., and with manufacturers making up more than 10% of Canada's GDP, experts say even that relatively small number could have a big impact on our economy. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Winnipeg Jets have inked their 2026 first-round draft. On Monday, the club announced it signed 18-year-old Viggo Bjork to a 3-year entry-level contract. They took the center 8th overall in the NHL draft last month. Bjork scored 6 goals and added 9 assists in the Swedish Hockey League last season. He also played a prominent role for Team Sweden at both the World Juniors and World Championships. Jets training camp opens September 17th. Here's what's happening right now on Portage Avenue. Things are still quite light starting off this Tuesday. If you see any problems out on the streets, please send us a text when it is safe and legal to do so.
Brent crude rose above $86 a barrel for the first time in a month as U.S. President Donald Trump reimposed a blockade on Iranian ships transiting the Strait of Hormuz, and tensions rose after attacks on 2 tankers. The global benchmark climbed again today after surging almost 10% on Monday. New York has become the first state to block the construction of any new large data centers. The ban is in effect for up to a year, so the state can create rules to protect the environment and energy grid from the power-hungry facilities that fuel artificial intelligence technology. In a statement, Governor Kathy Hochul said, as data center development threatens to hike up utility bills, deplete our natural resources, and create uncertainty for New Yorkers, it's my responsibility to take action and lead. 12 states are suing to block Paramount's takeover of Warner Brothers Discovery, arguing that the $81 billion merger would extinguish competition in Hollywood and lead to fewer choices for consumers across the U.S. Paramount says that the lawsuit distorts settled antitrust law and maintains that its merger would instead create a stronger competitor against dominant streaming and technology platforms who have harmed the market for theatrical exhibition and jobs in the entertainment industry. Those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at Old Market Square this morning. You can see the sign on the queue behind you. Fringe is officially kicking off tomorrow. Good morning.
Yes, and Rochelle, I got one of those programs. There's over 150 different companies participating from all over the world, and I'm the type of person, when I get a menu, I only need 3 options. I don't know which one I'm going to choose. I've been perusing through. I love, of course, to support local. Coming up throughout the morning, though, we're going to be hearing from Tango After Midnight and even seeing a live performance. And at 7:27, House of Gold, the musical, a country and western musical, a guy who is originally from the St. Vital area, now lives in Vancouver. Fringe Festival, though, whether it's kids' fringe, simply getting a bite to eat, or enjoying the summer theatrics, enjoy it here in Winnipeg.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you so much. So much history with the Fringe in this community. It's fabulous, and it's nice when the weather is beautiful outside as well.
Oh my gosh, if it can be moderate, Rochelle, it's just heaven being down at Old Market Square when it's filled with people. You're watching live entertainment on the stage at the Cube, and the food trucks are out. So yes, willing that into existence. The good news is we do have a good amount of lovely weather heading our way. Could be a little bit hot for those fringers. Right now, though, it's lovely. 19 degrees, couple clouds here or there. Light winds out of the north-northeast at 7 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising, humidity sitting at 82%. So yes, northern Manitoba, we're going to start with you. A strong chance of rain and thunderstorm in Churchill, and about a 30% chance of rain throughout all the rest of northern Manitoba. Highs there very hot into the upper 20s, even in some areas in the northwest, cracking the 30s. Very hot indeed alongside northwesterly winds. A little bit moderate, more moderate here in southern Manitoba, not by a lot. 29 degrees in Winnipeg, but the real difference maker is that humidex will not be as severe as yesterday. That's the good news. We'll deal with clear skies to kick us off, increasing cloudiness in the Red River Valley into the afternoon. While Brandon, Nibua, a good chance of rain and thunderstorms into your afternoon, a 30% chance for Dauphin.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
It's time now for a question of the day. We want to know, how do you budget for your summer vacation? You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. And don't forget to include your name, please.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want more. Whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals, send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to Pet of the Week at CTV.ca, and then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. All right, we're going to be right back after this. Good morning. People in the city of Brandon can breathe a sigh of relief. The Assiniboine River, which flows through the city, has peaked and is stable.
The river levels are forecasted to remain high for a few days before a slow decline begins.
Brandon's Mayor Jeff Fawcett says the river peaked overnight Sunday into Monday at 1,179.49 feet. He says as long as there's no additional rainfall, it's expected that the river will stay at its current level for a bit. Manitoba's second largest city has been preparing for the rising water over the past week by deploying sandbags and tiger dams to protect residents and infrastructure. But just because Brandon's preparation efforts has put it into a good position does not mean it's fully out of the woods just yet. Fawcett says some of the most dangerous times for residents comes after peak levels have been reached.
As floodwaters withdraw, riverbanks can become unstable due to erosion. Saturated ground can give way unexpectedly, and damage to flood protection measures may not always be immediately visible. Areas that appear safe may still present significant risk, even when water levels are dropping. So fast-moving water remains dangerous. Debris can emerge, erosion can weaken shorelines, dikes, and nearby infrastructure.
Evacuation notices were issued for areas around the river last week, but no orders are currently in effect. City crews are monitoring the areas being impacted by high water levels. Brandon remains in a state of emergency. The Pride of Winkler is heading to Major League Baseball's All-Star Game.
Peters crushed to right field. It's gone!
Tristan Peters is having a heck of a rookie season for the Chicago White Sox. The outfielder is hitting 301 with 6 home runs and 36 RBIs in his first full season in the bigs. And on Friday, Peters became the second Canadian ever to hit for the cycle. The Winkler native will suit up for the American League All-Stars tonight. Now to a golf story that is definitely not par for the course. A bold bear in BC was caught on camera stealing a golfer's bag and hauling the clubs into the trees. As golfers watched from a safe distance, another bear lingered nearby, making the unusual encounter even more memorable. That is pretty interesting. I wonder if he wants to play. Here's a look now at what's going on at Confusion Corner. Things are starting to pick up in this part of the city, but overall moving quite well. We have no issues to tell you about at this point in the drive.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
The Michael Jackson biopic has hit a major milestone. The film about the King of Pop has crossed the $1 billion mark at the global box office.
Just have all these ideas in my head. Just gotta get them out.
And do it, Michael. Not a little boy anymore.
It's the first biopic to reach the milestone, and according to Deadline, it's the first film by Lionsgate and the studio behind the film to gross $8 billion. We're getting our first look at the season 2 of The Gentleman.
If you're looking for prestige, heritage, that would be the Duke.
Theo James returns as the Duke and clearly has ambitions of expanding his empire. The return of the Guy Ritchie series starts streaming in September, so you do have time to check out season 1 and the movie before then. And Tom Cruise is unrecognizable in his new role for the film Digger.
Everything changes. You know, one day you're a cat. Just take a little taste for daddy. Come on, sweetheart. Or a king. The next day you're just ashes in a box. How long would you say she has?
The trailer for the new film dropped yesterday, and many people were left asking, is that Tom Cruise? Cruise plays an unruly oil mogul on a mission to prove he's humanity's hero. Cruise also joined TikTok over the weekend to promote the film, and he already has more than 1.4 million followers. Digger hits theaters in October. Your Tuesday primetime lineup starts at 7 with The Big Bang Theory. Catch The Amazing Race Canada at 8. Then Password comes on at 9. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
I want to return to weird Tom Cruise, like Magnolia, like that kind. So I'm into this movie. I'm also down for this return to some more moderate conditions. I shouldn't even use the word moderate. It's still going to be hot, but the extreme heat really loosening into southern Manitoba, which is a much needed reprieve for us. 19 degrees, sunny, a couple clouds here or there. Winds are light out of the north-northeast. Pressure is rising, humidity sitting at 82%. So yes, you can already see how much more pleasant it is outside, reflected in our temperatures to start off the day, because not only are they a little bit cooler than what we saw yesterday, that humidex is not in effect basically at all yesterday. It felt more like 30 degrees at 8 a.m. It was wild. Today, though, it's starting off in the upper teens. Same goes for our friends over in northern Manitoba, Island Lake. You're still offline, but you're at about 16 degrees this hour. We still do have weather alerts in effect. While the heat watches and warnings lifted for us here in southern Manitoba, they do persist in central regions where the threshold to bring one of these into effect is a little bit higher than what we're seeing here in southern Manitoba, because our temperatures in this region are typically cooler than what we experience. Meanwhile, we're still in for a hot day, so I need to manage expectations. We're getting up to about 28 degrees by late afternoon, early evening, and that's also when our skies really start to cloud over, though we have a couple periods of clearer skies, and those winds ramp up out of the northwest at 20 kilometers per hour. We are getting a little bit hotter than that. 29 degrees is our high, 26 is what's seasonal. Overnight tonight, mostly cloudy skies, temperatures dipping down to 18 degrees with northwesterly winds persisting. And then tomorrow, we really feel the full effects of this cooler air, cold front that moved in, bringing a return to below seasonal values and a good amount of rain for us tomorrow, a high of 25. Your Skywatch picture of the day, Angela snapped this beautiful shot of the Norway House Cremation sign with the sun starting to set. Thanks for sending that in, and keep your weather pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
July 14th, 1933. Popeye the Sailor Man appeared in his first animated cartoon. The character first appeared in a daily syndicated newspaper comic strip called Thimble Theater in January of 1929. Popeye's animated debut was in a Betty Boop cartoon. The character first appeared as a star in his own animated series in September of 1933 in the short I Am What I Am. July 14th, 1976. The House of Commons passed a bill to abolish the death penalty. After debating the issue for more than 2 months, the bill was approved by a 130 to 124 vote. At the time, there were 11 men on death row awaiting the noose, although the last hangings had occurred in 1962. July 14th, 2024. Beverly Hills 90210 and Charmed television star Shannon Doherty died at age 53. A statement from the actor's publicist said she died after years with breast cancer. She also acted in more than 20 made-for-television movies, several of which were shot in Winnipeg. In 2002, she was awarded a key to the city by then Winnipeg Mayor Glenn Murray. While most of the sports world's attention was on the FIFA World Cup, the 53rd World Peace Shooting Championship went ahead.
Oh, it's such an honour to be a champion. You have to select your peas very carefully. They need to be very round, and you have to hold your pea shooter very steadily. That is the secret.
The English village of Whitcomb in Cambridgeshire hosted the event over the weekend. The rules for the pea shooting championships: state shooters must stand 3.7 meters away from the target, which is coated with wet putty. Shooters get to shoot 5 dried peas at the target. A bullseye scores 5 points, the middle ring gets 3, and the outer ring gets 1. Success depends on precision, accuracy, well-rounded peas, steady puffs, and the wind. Well, it's time now to see our sports team moment. Today's picture is from the Ringette team Hurricanes. Her is with H-E-R. Jill shared back in 2020, a mere week before COVID shut down. My Ringette team won WRL championships in our division. We are a team of moms and grandmas too. Some daughters play with us. It was a big high for us veterans, most of whom still play together today. I was the goalie, and this was a particularly exciting moment for us. We've been passing that banner around for the past 6 years. LOL. You can also participate with your most memorable team moment and be entered to win a $100 Chicken Chef gift card. Head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form with your answer and your picture. Good luck.
Your Manitoba sports team moment brought to you by Chicken Chef, where memories are made.
We're getting a sneak peek of some of the theater that you could expect to see at the Winnipeg Fringe Festival starting tomorrow. Stay with us for more with Ainsley. Let's go back now to Ainsley, who is live this morning telling us all about the Fringe Festival that's kicking off tomorrow. And we're getting a sneak peek on some of the shows that you can expect to see there. Good morning.
Yes, House of Gold is one of them. I feel like Jimmy Fallon, you know, when he puts the record on there and then he explains it and then they do the live performance. Thomas McLeod is joining us now to tell us about the performance, a little bit about your background. So what can people expect?
It's a musical dark comedy based on our hit play from 2024, which was called House of Gold. And now we just added songs. You know, we made the script tighter, added songs. We're at M2IP, and it's just a romp. You know, it's stupid. Like the humor is pretty stupid, but it's like smart stupid. You know what I mean? Like people will be like, ah, all right.
Clever.
Clever. That's the word I was looking for. Clever humor.
And country and western as well.
Yes.
Great theme.
Thank you.
What does it explore throughout that? Because it is a musical. So tell us about that element.
So, I mean, I really love older country music. I love some like newer artists as well. But it's sort of it's based on like a fictional character named John Gold and his, you know, famous country career, and they're trying to recreate that success from first principles. And so, you know, it's about authenticity in art, and it's about family dynamics. It's sort of like Succession, Arrested Development, rich kids being annoying, you know, just hijinks. Big hijinks show, yeah.
Nice. Originally, you're from Winnipeg. You live in another province now, but tell us about what it means to you to be able to come back and really embrace the theater community.
It's the greatest city in the world, all right? You know that? We all know that. But, I mean, I live in Vancouver most of the year, and I just tell people, you don't get it. You don't get it. It's better than this place. Vancouver sucks. Winnipeg, the theater here is so much better. There's so much more civic pride. I feel so proud to be from here. I tell everybody, like, I don't shy away from it, you know? And if anyone talks smack about Winnipeg, I say, hey, only we get to do that. But
you know your audience, that's for sure.
Yeah, oh, for sure. My mom's from Winnipeg. My whole family is, so they talk like this all the time.
When can people see you, real quick before we're out of time?
Yeah, July 15th to 26th at M2IP, Manitoba Theatre for Young People at the Forks, venue 21. And it's going to be a great show. It's going to be great. Hope to see you there.
Thanks so much. Congratulations. Coming up, maybe we have a tango. Who knows?
Maybe. Okay, can't wait. Thank you, Ainsley. And it looks so beautiful behind her, and it's going to be another beautiful day before the rain comes in.
Yes, certainly. So a little bit, if those fringers are heading out to Old Market Square tomorrow, you might want to grab the rain gear. But you know what? For the most part, it's looking like it's going to be a really lovely start to the fringe. Today, also a lovely start to the day. 19 degrees, pretty clear out there. Winds out of the north-northeast at 7 kilometers per hour, barely there. Barometric pressure rising, humidity sitting at 82%. So yes, we're starting off on a pretty clear note. However, you start to see the system drift in over from the west, bringing a good chance of rain and thunderstorms to southwestern Manitoba, while we here deal with the mounting clouds. You will notice this weather alert map looked a lot different yesterday. All those heat watches and warnings have lifted in southern Manitoba, but they do remain in central parts of our province. They should likely be lifted in the next day or so because a cold front has moved in, bringing us down in terms of that humidex, but temperature is still hot and above seasonal. It's going to take a little while longer for us to get down to below seasonal values. Today, though, 29 degrees, lots of sunshine to start, and then increasing cloudiness into the afternoon, pretty much overcast by the end of the day. Winds strong out of the northwest at 20 kilometers per hour. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies sticking around. Northwesterly winds do as well. Temperatures dipping down to 18. And then tomorrow, we're settling back down below seasonal at 25 degrees. A good chance of rains coming our way off and on throughout the day. Light westerly winds alongside it. And then from there, likely we'll take a breather from the rain on Thursday, but not from those slightly cooler temperatures, 25 degrees. We do still have a low chance of showers, about a 30% chance. However, those rain drops are likely to pick up again once again overnight as temperatures dip down to 19. And then Friday looks to be another rainy one, 28 degrees, but those fringers will like Saturday and Sunday. Lots of sunshine and very hot.
The sexual assault trial of Peter Nygaard in Montreal was over in one day.
No perfect cases. I was ready to proceed, which means that I was convinced that I was able to obtain a conviction in this file.
Nygaard was facing charges of sexual assault and confinement in alleged assaults that took place during the 1990s. Nygaard accepted a plea deal, and his lawyers didn't present any evidence. The judge then found him guilty on both counts. Sentencing is delayed until at least October. Nygaard is already serving an 11-year sentence for a separate sexual assault conviction in Ontario. He's also facing similar charges in the U.S. Thompson RCMP are asking for the public's help to find a missing 26-year-old female. According to police, on July 9th at around 11 p.m., they received a report that Cheyenne Dorian was missing from where she was last seen at her residence on McGill Place in Thompson. Dorian is still believed to be in the Thompson area, and police there are concerned for her well-being. She's described as 5 feet tall with a medium build and shoulder-length brown hair, possibly with red streaks. She was last seen wearing a gray and black shirt, gray sweatpants, and red sneakers. Anyone who has seen Cheyenne Dorian or has information about her whereabouts is asked to call Thompson RCMP at 204-667-6909 or Crime Stoppers. In Toronto, a vigil was held last night for the victims of the Salsa on St. Clair mass shooting.
We need to come together and stand and to echo our voices that enough is enough.
The vigil was held near the festival site where 2 people were killed and 5 others were injured. Police have now named the 2 victims. They're 20-year-old Cesar Vernaza and 25-year-old Shaquan Kwashi. Shaquan's mother spoke about the moment when she found out her only son was dead.
The surgeon, the police officers, they asked me who is there with me. It's my daughter. They told me he's dead.
Kwashi and Vernaza grew up together as neighbors. Toronto's police chief says they were targeted. The 5 people hurt were bystanders caught up in the gunfire. Police have recovered 2 guns. No word yet on a motive, and no suspects have been named. Toronto's mayor says the city will keep hosting street festivals and big events.
City of Toronto will always work with the chief and the police and the festival organizers, plus our city staff, will come together and look at the best way to keep people safe.
The organizers of the Salsa on St. Clair Festival say they will pull their support for the event unless safety improvements are made. Police in Ontario's Durham region are looking for a suspect who allegedly scammed a senior out of tens of thousands of dollars. Investigators believe there may be more victims. Police have issued an arrest warrant for 40-year-old Christopher Alexander Graham. He is wanted for fraud over $5,000 and breaching a probation order. An investigation was opened in May after a 78-year-old man was defrauded of more than $33,000 for landscape work that was never completed. Police say Graham is also wanted by 5 other police services in Ontario for fraud-related charges. A new study shows soccer potentially could affect long-term brain health. It looks at retired professional players in midlife using questionnaires, clinical assessments, and brain scans. The researchers say they found no impacts on cognition, but they say participants did have lower gray matter in certain brain regions. That's compared to people who hadn't played contact sports. The regions include those affecting memory, decision-making, attention, and emotional regulation. The participants also report higher levels of anxiety and depression and problems with thinking or decision-making. The lead author says the study shows correlation, not necessarily causation. Some fun images to share with you now. In Washington State, competitors were chomping at the bit at an annual prehistoric sprint. You don't need a horse in this race to get a kick out of it. In the final, the leader's inflated suit led to a bruised ego as an untimely tumble allowed another Rex to devour the competition, taking the title of T-Rex World Champion. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. On St. James Street, the northbound curb lane will be closed from Bangor to Notre Dame Avenue. All northbound lanes on Golding Street will be closed from St. Matthews to Sargent Avenue. And all eastbound lanes on Logan Avenue will be closed from Cecil to Quelch Street. Let's look now at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.59. It's a small drop from yesterday's amount, and the lowest price in the city is $1.51. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
Right now outside, we're sitting at 19 degrees under a glorious sunny sky. We're going to take a quick break. More news, weather, and traffic after this.
A pleasant start to the day out there. Temperatures starting to heat up. It's 19 degrees this hour. 1 or 2 clouds here or there, but pretty clear. Winds are light out of the north-northeast. Pressure rising. Humidity sitting at 82%. Yes, if you step outside, it's not going to feel as sweltering, as oppressive. That's because a cold front has moved in, putting not an end, but lightening up that extreme heat, certainly. Meanwhile, we're also keeping an eye on this system here pushing in from the west. You can see it's likely going to be impacting Brandon and Neepawa today, with rain and thunderstorm activity. Details on that in a moment. Meanwhile, a different shift from yesterday. You can see our weather alert map looks a lot different. Those heat warnings and watches have lifted in southern Manitoba, but do persist in central regions where the threshold is a little bit lower in order to, or higher, excuse me, in order to prompt these. So in due time, likely by today, these will be lifted as seasonal highs for this time of year are generally a little bit cooler. To the northeast we go, where there's also a good chance of some rain and thunderstorms impacting Churchill, about a 60% shot by Environment and Climate Change Canada's estimation, while the rest of the region has about a 30% chance of rainfall today, likely though a mix of sun and cloud. Above seasonal highs through this stretch in the upper 20s. Much the same, if not hotter, to the northwest. Still that lingering chance of rainfall, but very warm above seasonal values at 29 degrees in Opaskwayak Nation, The Pas, and Norway House, and Flin Flon for that matter. 27 degrees in Lynn Lake. Southwestern Manitoba, in and around Brandon and Neepawa, I mentioned a chance of rain and convective activity, while Dauphin and Swan River have about a 30% shot of seeing that system, likely though a mix of sun and cloud for you. For us here, building clouds into the afternoon. It'll be more like overcast into the late day. Highs in the upper 20s to low 30s in Steinbach and Sprague's case. Northwesterly winds at 20 kilometers per hour. The northwest is going to take a little bit while longer to turn down the heat. You're still feeling some pretty extreme humidity. Temperatures peaking in the low 30s with a chance of rain and thunderstorms throughout the day. Overnight tonight, mostly cloudy skies for Winnipeg, 18 degrees. And then into tomorrow, we're really starting to feel that cool down, 25 degrees with a good amount of rainfall.
Go back now to Ainsley, who's live, telling us all about the Fringe Festival, which is kicking off tomorrow, and you're showing us some of the performers that will be there. Good morning.
Yes, Chloe Zeiner and Jessica Gabriel join me now. Earlier in the show, I talked about shadows and puppets, and I was not eloquently trying to describe what this performance would be, but it is a little bit complex. So, Chloe, you're going to explain what your performance is.
Okay, so a lot of people think of shadow puppetry as like little and black and white and with their hands, but that's not what we do. What we do is on a big giant screen. It's full color. So imagine a big screen on the stage, and there's 2 tables, one on either side, not blocking the screen. On one table, there's an old school overhead projector, you know, the kind that people used to use for math. But we're using it in a whole new way with lots of handmade cutouts. And then on the other side of the stage, there's another table, and it has a little camcorder, a video camera, and we're doing live video at the same time and editing between the 2 things and also layering them together. So it's like we're creating a live action movie before your very eyes, and you can see it being made, and we're also telling a story with it.
Well, now you can see why I didn't explain it or couldn't explain it. Next, we have a minute left, but I haven't even explained the actual performance. You've got beans in your shirt.
So if you remember the story of Jack and the Beanstalk, who climbs up the beanstalk, steals a golden goose, and kills a giant, our story, the beanstalk market crash, is set 100 years in the future with Jack von Beansprout III, the original Jack's grandson, and the golden goose.
Honk, 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 honk.
Thank you, Goose.
And the golden goose starts a revolution.
When can people see you guys?
We are starting actually a little bit further into the festival because I'm in another show. Fool's Gambit is the first half of the festival, and then the second half of the festival starting on the 20th.
You got to head to the website. I'm sorry, I didn't give you enough time. Okay, head to the website for more details.
Thank you, Ainsley. Get ready to feel the beat and live the culture. This year marks 55 years of Folklorama, and you have a chance to win a pair of tour visas to visit any and all pavilions you want to discover from August 2nd to the 15th. Plus, 2 lucky winners will also win seats on our CTV Mystery Folklorama bus to enjoy even more food and entertainment. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, and don't forget to enter the keyword WORLD. Good luck. There is a new museum exhibit that celebrates video games and the roles Canadians have played in shaping the industry. CTV's Kevin Sherrick has more.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
From the world's biggest sports games to a pioneering first-person shooter, BC has left its mark on the video game industry.
Every one of these games was developed in Vancouver.
Ryan Dunnison runs the new Canadian Video Game Museum pop-up at the Museum of Vancouver.
Our industry turned over 50, actually, very recently in the past couple of years. And so we're at this new stage where we're starting to lose a lot of that early history. And so we thought it was really important to keep hold of some of that.
In addition to modern-day mega hits, the exhibit features games like Desert Fox, produced by Sydney Development Corporation in the mid-'80s. There are also locally developed educational games featuring maps of BC and other made-in-Canada titles that many visitors may remember.
This exhibit explores some of the first gaming systems ever created, including ColecoVision, developed in Montreal.
The interactive exhibit lets visitors play locally developed games while learning how the industry has evolved over the years.
Yeah, I thought it really interesting, and especially the whole link to Vancouver.
When we're talking so much about preservation in video games and how do you continue to do that, how do you continue to store and preserve things, particularly in a digital era, that it really made sense for us to start finding some space for them to do that.
The volunteer-run pop-up is open till October, but depending on public interest, could one day become a permanent exhibit.
What we'd like for people to get out of it is mostly just to see some of the amazing things that have been done here over time.
Dunnison says more donations and displays are expected to fill the space in the coming weeks. Kevin Chirac, CTV News, Vancouver.
celebrating a milestone today. Happy 4th birthday, Addie Bell, from Mom, Dad, Abby, Colby, and Gabe. And bonne fête and happy 11th birthday, Frédéric, love Mama, Papa, and Rosalie. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires, proudly keeping Canadians rolling for 50 years.
Getting balmier out here, but not as hot as yesterday. We're getting up to 29 degrees. You can see that's above seasonal, but well off that record set back in 1910, 35.6. Not far from what we saw yesterday, though. It was a scorcher with that extreme heat and those humidex values making it feel like at times in and around 45 degrees. The good news is a cold front has moved in overnight. We're sort of starting to feel the effects currently in that it's so much more pleasant to start off the day. It's 19 degrees, and again, we don't feel more like 30 as was the case yesterday with that humidex not playing much of a factor. And then the skies, clear, sunny, winds light, pressure rising, humidity sitting at 82%. So yes, it's going to take a little while for our mercury to adjust to that cold front. Right now, though, the major difference again will be that humidity. We're getting up to a high of 29, as we said, in Winnipeg. Areas in and around the Red River Valley, particularly in the southeast corner, could still be cracking the 30-degree mark. The rest of us, though, throughout southern Manitoba in the low 20s without that severe humidex. Winds will be decently strong out of the northwest at 20 clicks. Meanwhile, a low pressure system pushing into Westman in and around Brandon could bring rain and thunderstorms to you. A lesser chance of it impacting Dauphin and Swan River. A rainfall and thunderstorm potential also exists in the northeast in and around Churchill. Areas all throughout the rest of the north have a 30% chance of that activity, but for the most part sunny with highs in the upper 20s.
5 people have died in all-terrain vehicle crashes so far this year. The latest fatality happened in the early evening of Thursday, July 9th, when South Indian Lake RCMP responded to a single vehicle ATV collision in the community of Opipin-Napiwin Cree Nation. That's where they found a seriously injured female on the road and an ATV in the ditch. The 59-year-old woman was pronounced dead at the scene. Joining us now on the phone from the Manitoba RCMP is Staff Sergeant Matt Lavallee. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Rochelle. Thank you for having me this morning.
Well, thank you for joining us. Now, tell us what happened in OPCN.
Up in OPCN, there was a fatal off-road vehicle collision after an incident involving 2 individuals.
And was this like a crash between these 2 individuals, or?
Yes, I believe it was. That's in our northern detachment area, so I'm not posted there, but that's what I'm led to understand, yes.
Okay, so far this year, how many people have been injured or died in ATV crashes in Manitoba?
Year to date, Rochelle, we have 5 collisions and unfortunately 5 deaths associated to ATV collisions.
And we're looking at some of the stats from previous years here. How do we compare to those years, and what does this year look like so far?
Well, unfortunately, we peaked in 2025 with 11 collisions and 11 deaths, and so far this year, 5 collisions, 5 deaths. 1 is simply too many.
And remind us why ATVs are so dangerous.
Well, ATVs have evolved from the family 3-wheeler that got passed down through generations to machines nowadays that have as much power as the cars we drive. And when we throw in factors such as speed, alcohol consumption, and not wearing a helmet, that often results in very tragic consequences.
And obviously speed is a big factor here, but there's also no protective seatbelt or things that keep you on the vehicle if there's a crash, right?
That's correct. In motor vehicles, obviously, we have seatbelts, airbags, and they're designed to absorb impact much better than ATVs are, be it side-by-sides or ATVs for that fact. They're just not equipped to keep us as safe as our typical passenger car.
And the helmet, is it mandatory to wear a helmet when riding an ATV?
Yes, it is. You must wear a helmet. The stickers are all over ATVs, safety stickers that manufacturers put on to not carry passengers, to wear helmets, not consume alcohol. And I wish that people would pay more attention to these.
Yeah, now is there also an age where people are not allowed to ride them?
Yes, Rochelle, there is. Under the age of 16, you're not allowed to operate an off-road vehicle unless supervised. And I'd like to take this opportunity as the RCMP to plead with parents not to allow your children to operate these machines unsupervised in any situation.
With these vehicles, things can happen quickly, right?
Correct.
Okay, and so it's very hard to predict, especially when you're riding all over the place, whether there's bumps or whether there's somebody else coming your way, and that's why they're so dangerous.
That's exactly correct, Rochelle. They're just not, they're not like your passenger vehicle. We see people operating them that don't have the training. We encourage the operators of these machines to join their local clubs to get the training and make it much more safe out there for themselves and everybody else on the trail.
Is it the law for people to have the training in order to operate these vehicles?
No, it isn't, Rochelle.
Do you think that should be the law?
I believe that would help. We're seeing that reflected in some of the violations that we are addressing. In 2025, we issued 275 tickets for various off-road vehicle violations, and 50 of those were for not wearing a helmet. We'd like to see that number go right down to zero, and it's possible.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time today, Matt. We really appreciate it.
Matt Scooby in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Monday. For it, we head to the Home Run Derby in Philadelphia. In the final round, Jordan Walker needed 4 home runs in 4 swings to beat Kyle Schwarber, and after getting 3 in a row, he crushes one deep into the Philly night sky and gone. Walker with a walk-off shot in the Home Run Derby. His 2026 salary just under $800,000, but he won $1 million for that. He claims your must-see moment for Monday. And today on TSN, it's the first semifinal at the FIFA World Cup. France taking on Spain. Coverage begins at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN must-see moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Tuesday, July 14th. Calming traffic with concrete, new specialized curbs are cropping up on more Winnipeg streets. How are drivers reacting? Northern wildfires, a community from which nearly everyone has been evacuated, is now without power as Hydro scrambles to restore down lines and damaged poles. And the competition cools right off at the same time it's heating up. What else could you expect for a game of volleyball with this decidedly liquid twist? Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It's 8 o'clock on your Tuesday. Thank you so much for being with us here on your Morning Winnipeg. Now, of course, if you're planning a summer vacation, we're going to tell you how to stay on budget at 8:15, and then at 8:27, we're going to get an update on the flooding situation in Brandon. But the last thing Brandon needs, though, is more rain, and they might just see that today.
Yes, there is a good chance of some rain and thunderstorm activity. Not good news. We've heard about how hard they've been hit in the past by rain, flooding, and today Mother Nature is not easing. She is, however, easing up on the heat. I shouldn't be so dire. It's 19 degrees. It is decently sunny out there with the 1 or 2 clouds. Pressure is rising, light winds, humidity sitting at 82% this hour. So yes, likely some rainfall headed your way in the southwest. You can see the low pressure system there on our radar starting to track in from the west. What's different though today also is our heat warnings. They have lifted through many parts of southern Manitoba. They do remain in effect in central portions as that threshold is a bit higher to loosen it. But additionally, you're also dealing with some air quality issues in and around the Paw region. We know that's ongoing from the smoke from the wildfires. Sadly, these conditions have just wreaked havoc on the wildfire fight, so not improving and likely not lifting today. Meanwhile, good amount of cloud coverage descending on us throughout the day. Look for that to build into the afternoon. That system that's likely to bring rain and thunderstorms to Brandon and Nepo, about a 60% chance, not really registering too much. There's 1 or 2 disturbances showing up in the north. In fact, impact the northeast, particularly Churchill, has a strong chance of rain and convective activity, while the rest of the north, just a lighter chance, 30%, with very hot highs into the upper 20s, excuse me. Much the same for us here in the south under those increasingly cloudy skies. Temperatures will look very similar to yesterday, into the upper 20s or low 30s, but that humidex will not be as extreme as a cold front mercilessly has rolled in. However, you see a lot more convective activity likely coming overnight Tuesday, kicking off the day under some rainy skies in the southwest, and then joining us all throughout Wednesday here in Winnipeg as well, as you see it really wrap around us. So a good amount of rainfall and a cool down in terms of our temperatures. Today represents a cool down of sorts, 29 degrees if you can believe it, 26 is what's typical. And then Wednesday, when that rain comes in, we're down to 25. Amina drew this incredible weather art of the day, just 7 years old, and she's got all 4 seasons there, lovely and represented. Thanks so much for sending that in. And if you'd like to submit your child's weather art of the day, please visit our website because we're running low on submissions, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. There you fill out the form. Your art can be shown on Your Morning Winnipeg, but it's also going to enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Kenniston and Regent.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery, now open on Regent and Kenniston.
The City of Winnipeg is expanding a pilot project aimed at slowing down speeders near schools and crosswalks. Now the calming measures are being built at 9 new sites, and so far reactions are mixed.
It's a lot of traffic and a lot of congestion, so I think it's a good idea. It keeps the students safe.
All of a sudden it's there, and then there's people coming the other way too, so I think it's an accident waiting to happen.
What they're referring to are temporary traffic calming devices meant to curb speed. The city installed some at select locations last year, and now they're doing 9 more this summer at 9 locations across the city. The city says the curb cuts, as they are known, are placed near schools and crosswalks where speeding and collisions are a problem, where intersections have wide corners, and at crosswalks with poor visibility. They say speed dropped by 10% on average at last year's installation sites.
This whole movement of traffic calming on older design streets is new and emerging.
Public Works Committee Chair Janice Luke says where it's determined the curb cuts are not working, they will look at something else like a speed hump. And where they are slowing traffic down, permanent measures will be built when the road is renewed. Now to an update on a wildfire burning near a First Nation in northern Manitoba. About 12,000 hectares have burned near OPCN, according to its chief. All but 71 essential community members were evacuated on July 7th, with members now in Winnipeg, Brandon, and Thompson. Manitoba Hydro says around 30 poles are damaged and will need to be inspected to determine a repair timeline. OPCN's leadership says Hydro needs to do more to mitigate future power problems.
There is a lot of preparedness that Manitoba Hydro has to do in order to prevent forest fires, and they know. And they promised us that they would help, like clear cutting, preparing these poles to prevent, but that support has never been there. And in situations like this, even the supports within the community, it seems like they're the last department to act.
Manitoba Hydro says it has fire mesh wrapped on more than 150 poles near the First Nation, and community members were hired to cut trees where safe to do so. Hydro also tells CTV crews will work to restore power to the community as quickly as possible, but at this time, the blaze and shifting winds are making the area unsafe. It's been a much more active year than usual for tornadoes in Alberta.
Season is June, July, August. For the most part in the prairies, with a peak in July. So tornadoes are kind of a regular occurrence.
There have been 24 tornadoes in Alberta this year. On average, the province sees 11 tornadoes between June and August. According to the Northern Tornado Project, heavy rain has been one of the main factors behind the increased activity. The Snowbirds have put on one final show in their hometown of Moose Jaw before being temporarily grounded.
I think there's some extra nostalgia here that this may be the last show for quite some time and potentially the last time to see the Snowbirds officially out of Moose Jaw.
A massive crowd braved the heat at the Moose Jaw Municipal Airport for the last public performance in front of their hometown crowd, at least for the foreseeable future. In May, the federal government announced the Snowbirds would be temporarily grounded until at least the early 2030s, allowing the team's aging Tudor jets to be retired and replaced. The Snowbirds have been based out of Moose Jaw for 55 years, forming in 1971. Slovenia's annual volleyball on water tournament has made a splash once again. Teams from around the world took to the special court in the river in the center of the country's capital. The court is submerged under 15 centimeters of water, bringing a special challenge to a game usually played on a court or on sand. Volleyball on water has been going on since 2019. All right, here's a look at what's happening in traffic along the St. James Bridge. Things have really picked up in this part of the city, as you can see here. But overall, we have no issues or delays to really tell you about.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires, proudly keeping Canadians rolling for 50 years.
It's time now to see our sports team moment. Today's pictures from the Ringette Team Hurricanes. Jill shared back in 2020, a mere week before COVID shutdown. My Ringette team won WRL championships in our division. We are a team of moms and grandmas too. Some daughters play with us. It was a big high for us veterans, most of whom still play together today. I was the goalie, and this was a particularly exciting moment for us. We've been passing that banner around for the past 6 years. That's wonderful. You can also participate with your most memorable team moment and be entered to win a $100 Chicken Chef gift card. Head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form with your answer and your picture. Good luck.
Your Manitoba sports team moment brought to you by Chicken Chef, where memories are made.
Let's go back now to Ainsley, who's live at the Cube this morning. Fringe is kicking off tomorrow, and we're getting a sneak peek on some of the productions you can check out for yourself. Hi, Ainsley.
Good morning. What happens when you've got tango and ballet? Well, you might not know because you've likely never seen it unless you've been to some of the sold-out shows at Fringe. Tango After Midnight. Joining us now, Aaron and Alexander. Thank you guys for doing this. Please explain your performance.
Well, we're one of the unique companies in the world that we dance traditional Argentine tango mixed with classical ballet, as you can see in Aaron's shoes there. So what we do is we bring the lifts, the power, the speed of ballet, and we bring that with the passion, the intensity of Argentine tango.
And you've had a lot of success, national level awards. What does that mean to you?
It just pushes us harder to keep on going. Last year we won the Canadian Tango Championships, so we really wanted to capture the deep passion of tango. And then this year we just won the Choix du Public in Montreal, the best of the festival at the Fringe there with our new show.
When can people catch you here?
Our first show is this Thursday at 8:45, John Hirsch, Venue 1.
Okay, really quick, because I know we have to get to the performance. How long did it take you to learn how to do this?
Quite a few years. They're not the same levels, but we made it work into something unique and different.
Okay, guys, let's see it. Using both sides of the brain, I guess, in the most beautiful and artistic way. I hope you guys catch this at Fringe.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
I'm doing my own kind of happy dance, not quite as artfully as them, but yes, because we are dealing with some much more favorable temperatures to kick us off on this Tuesday. 21 degrees out there. It's sunny and clear. Winds are pretty light out of the north-northeast. Pressure's rising. Humidity sitting at 71%. So our temperatures are still going to be pretty hot today, but the extreme heat has really come down in a big way. That humidex will still be a factor, but not like yesterday. It felt like 45 degrees at times. That is oppressive, brutal. A break in that is most most welcome. Maybe not this rainfall, particularly as it heads to Brandon and Neepawa. We know with the flooding there, that's the last thing they want to see. Still, Environment and Climate Change Canada has about a 60% chance of rain and thunderstorm activity coming your way. Heat warnings, meanwhile, have lifted in southern Manitoba. They do remain in effect through central portions as your threshold remains a bit higher to get those gone. Also lingering are those air quality issues. There's an air quality statement in effect for in and around the Paw area from those wildfires that are just continuing under these oppressively hot conditions, causing that smoke. Not the case for us in Winnipeg. Still hot as mentioned, 29 degrees, but that humidex not as sweltering. Winds will be out of the northwest at 20 kilometers per hour. We start clear and the clouds increase throughout the day, and it's almost overcast by late afternoon. 18 degrees overnight under those mainly cloudy skies. Winds out of the northwest at 20 kilometers per hour. Then tomorrow we do see that shift even more. A cold front has pushed in and we feel the effects tomorrow. 25 degrees with a 60% chance of showers throughout the day under westerly winds, light westerly winds. Into Thursday we likely take a breather. 30% chance of rain though. 25 degrees under cloudy skies, and then the rain picks back up to close out the week. We're going to take a break, but we're learning about budgeting for summer. That's just ahead.
Welcome back. If you have big plans for your summer vacation this summer, but you don't want to break the bank, there are ways you can plan a great family trip on a budget. And joining us now with tips on how to do that is investment advisor Grant White. Good morning, Grant.
Good morning.
Thank
Good to see you.
Well, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming. Now, you are talking about how you should have a plan in place. You should maybe have saved money well in advance before the summer even hits.
Ideally,
How do you do that?
I mean, the earlier you start, the better. So, I mean, ideally you start planning for things. I mean, think about the summer. If you wanted to rent a cabin, you have to book that like by March, probably, if not earlier. So having a plan in place for your summer, the earlier you start, the better. But it's not too late. I mean, there's lots of things you can do. I mean, we're just early July still, so there's lots of things you can do to just make sure that you can still enjoy this summer that we're in right now.
Right. So how do you do that?
Well, I think it's about being intentional. I mean, as we know in Winnipeg, the summer is going to fly by really quickly, and so if you don't make any sort of plans in the next week or so, that's probably going to be too late and it's going to be gone. Or at least it's going to feel that way. So the earlier you get on making some intentional plans about how you'd like to spend the summer, the things you'd like to enjoy, the better. I mean, then you're more likely to do them.
Okay, so let's say you didn't save up right now. How should you plan your holiday around that?
Yeah, good question. I mean, I like to focus in on the things that really matter, like connection and time. And I think this is a really good opportunity. I mean, we were talking earlier, I think summer's a great time to reset, actually. You know, people think about New Year's as the reset time.
Yeah.
I think the summer is actually the real reset time where you can focus in on your priorities and what really matters to you. Spending more time with the kids, spending more time with family and friends, getting out of the house, getting outdoors. This is a really good opportunity to do all that. So I would suggest you try to focus in on what fulfills you in your life. Try to do more of those things right now, and they don't have to cost a lot of money. I mean, like having a small budget set aside to make sure you're getting out for the ice creams on a Friday night, or maybe going camping, or whatever it happens to be. That doesn't have to cost. It doesn't have to break the bank, is my point.
And we know that with last-minute changes to cost, like for example, fuel prices are higher now with what's going on in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Should you have some sort of backup plan for those kinds of unplanned changes?
Yeah, or the weather, frankly. I mean, look at the June that we had. So I think, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's good to have a backup plan in place so that you can make sure that not everything's kibosh. You can still enjoy what's going on. And there's lots of fun things going on in the city right now, too. So, I mean, if you had a plan that you were going to drive to the lake and all of a sudden, fuel prices are too high or the weather's not looking good, no problem. There's the Jazz Festival that just happened, and there's so many other things going on in the city that don't cost a lot of money, but you can get the kids out, go to the park, do whatever it is, but making sure that you're enjoying things, and you can do that on a budget, for sure.
Because kids don't really remember those other facts, like where you were. They just remember spending time with you, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, like this is something, you could spend money on things, or you can spend money on the experiences. Like the ice cream could cost $20, or you could spend $50 buying a new shirt, or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
The $20 will stretch a lot further in terms of like what actually matters and experiences. And so yeah, I mean, I would focus, and again, again, on the things that really matter. And that's where you really want to be intentional with your money, is the things that are going to last, the things that are going to make the biggest difference.
Okay, so let's say you do want to have a big trip or you want to do something really big. When should you start planning for that?
I mean, the short answer is the sooner the better. But I mean, I like having a plan in place for the full year. And so, you know, if you haven't planned for this summer yet and you had to, like, you would like to go to Europe, if you don't have the funds set aside, well, maybe it's time to start planning for next summer at this point, and you can build that into your monthly budget. So every month you've got money set aside that's going into a travel fund that can be built up to whatever your big audacious goals are for next year. But ideally at least a year, and then you have that ongoing so that it's not a one and done kind of a thing. It's an ongoing thing that every year you're getting to enjoy your money, and you're not delaying everything till retirement or some far off date.
So are you saying then maybe talk to the bank and have them withdraw cash every couple of weeks and just put it aside, and then that way you know it's building and you don't even think about it?
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, ideally you work with a good financial planner, and the planner is going to have you on a monthly savings plan where it's going directly into an account that's set aside for travel and for other things like that. You want to be really intentional, and I can't stress that enough. Be intentional about how you want to live your life, and the money is just the thing that you need to do part of that. So have that money going every single month into a fund or into some sort of account that's going to be set aside, so when you want to do that trip, the money's there.
Any other recommendations for people at home?
Just focus on the things that matter. Like I said, I mean, time, connection, and fulfillment. Those are the things that really matter. Don't worry so much about buying big things or the materialistic things, because you're never going to look back and say, oh, I wish I bought more shirts. You're going to say, I wish I spent more time with my kids, or I wish I spent more time with friends. And especially in the summer, and especially after the June we've had, get outside, enjoy it. I know it's super hot right now, but get outside and enjoy it. You won't regret it.
Thank you so much for this.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Anytime.
If you didn't save your pennies for a lovely vacation, get outside and enjoy what we have locally, because the weather, she's serving us just a gold forecast ahead. 21 degrees, clear, sunny, lovely. Winds out of the north-northeast. Pressure is rising. Humidity sits at 71%. If you'd asked me yesterday, I would have said yes. I'm hopping on a plane. I'm leaving because it was so darn hot with that extreme humidity, that humidex. The good news is a cold front moved in overnight, and we're starting to see that extreme heat ease. It's still going to be a hot day today, specifically, well, all throughout the province. Actually, some of the hottest values coming to the northwest, where you could be cracking the 30-degree mark. The rest of the north, and all of Manitoba for that matter, highs into the upper 20s to low 30s. For us in Winnipeg, that's 29. The difference here, the humidex. Yesterday felt like 45 degrees at times. Today, it's still going to be hot in the 30s, but we'll start to see that come down even more in the coming days. We'll deal with lots of sunshine here, and then to the southwest, rain, thunderstorms expected, most notably in and around Brandon, Dauphin, Swan River, Barons River, a smaller chance, but a chance as well. Overnight, skies remaining cloudy, and then into tomorrow, that's when we really start to see those temperatures drop off a little bit. Below seasonal in the mid-20s, and some rain likely. Your Skywatch picture of the day, a beautiful shot in Norway House Cree Nation. Thanks to Angela for taking it and sending it in. And you can send yours in to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by the Better Business Bureau. Research at bbb.org before you buy.
The Assiniboine River in the city of Brandon has reached its peak and is expected to stay high for several days. So far, city officials say reinforced dikes appear to be holding and preventing widespread flooding. And joining us now is Brandon City Mayor Jeff Fawcett. Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm well. Thank you so much for joining us. Now tell us what the latest situation is now on the flood situation there.
Well, as you'd mentioned there, we did hit peak, about 24 hours ago or more, and or more than that actually now. So it's holding steady. Like the dike itself is hanging in there very good. We're monitoring it all the time. We're still constantly monitoring things like our land drainage, the sewer system, because there is impacts on all of that stuff. So it is constantly monitored as well, just to make sure that nothing untoward happens. There was some dark skies to the west this morning that that's my own site there. Mm-hmm. So hopefully the weather holds the next while. We've been very fortunate with the weather.
Okay, there is rain in the forecast for today, though, I will tell you that. So how much rain is too much rain?
You know what? Like, we can manage rain if we just have a rain, just a general rainfall. We can manage that. Any of those great big thunderstorms or they can be a problem localized.
Okay.
But the curiosity also is that, you know, of course, it's the river, so it is the Shellmouth and Assiniboine Basin. So how much water and rain comes in the whole basin? And all that may mean is that, okay, this is going to hold longer. There could be a second peak. We don't know those sort of things. So how much rain comes in the whole region versus just in the city of Brandon is also in play.
Okay, so at this point, nobody has had to leave their homes. Is that right?
No, nobody has, and that's one of the things that we're monitoring really close, because things like sewer and land drainage, that's where the big rains can play a role. And those are the kind of things that can have a person leaving a home versus, water coming over the dike.
Okay, so what message do you have for Brandonites right now?
You know what? They've been fantastic. So keep on keeping on. I guess to quote Bob Dylan unintentionally there, but they are ready. Everybody that's in those areas that know there could be issues, they're prepared. They're ready. We're monitoring everything very, very close. Keep paying attention. But we do want to emphasize, even though we're talking about, if the weather holds, that there's going to be a receding of the water.
Yeah.
It does take a while, and be very cautious. Continue to be, look to safety around the dikes. Continue to look to safety around the river. It can actually be almost more deceptive as the water recedes, because you think that might look okay, but it's not. It's going to be soft. There might be other things that have happened while the water's been up. So we'll take some time before we're really back to the river at all.
Okay, and so you're just telling people to stay off the dike, stay away from the river as much as they can.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else you want people to know?
That our team continues to work at it. The dikes, the work that was being done around the recreation areas has been completed and has been held in place. So now there's a lot of monitoring, and then watching the weather.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Mayor, for your time today. We're rooting for you. Here's a look outside at the Pitavanshe Bridge. Things are moving well over here, and it looks gorgeous outside. We're taking a break. We'll be right back after this.
Sunny and hot start to the day, 21 degrees, clear with 1 or 2 clouds here or there. Wind staying light out of the north-northeast this hour. Pressure rising, humidity sitting at 71%. It's going to be a hot day, but nothing like we had yesterday or the last weekend at that. The extreme humidity is starting to lift a little bit. However, we are keeping an eye on this system here, unfortunately bringing a decently strong chance of rain and thunderstorms to the southwest. Not what they're wanting to see in and around Brandon. I'll have details on that in a moment. Meanwhile, our weather alerts map looks different than yesterday. All those heat warnings lifted in southern Manitoba early this morning, but they remain in effect in central portions of the province as the threshold to lift it is a little bit higher. For us, though, we'll continue with the heat, but nowhere near to the degree we saw yesterday. Highs still above seasonal, though I should manage expectations, particularly in the northeast in the upper 20s. Meanwhile, a low pressure system that's kind of been hovering in and around this area brings a good chance of rain and thunderstorms to Churchill once again today. A lighter chance, about 30% at the rest of this region. Highs though, very hot. 28 degrees in Thompson, 29 in Island Lake, 27 in Gillam. 30% chance of rain and maybe some convection coming to the northwest today. Likely you're staying dry with a mix of sun and cloud and northwesterly winds. Highs above seasonal in the upper 20s through this region. I mentioned another system likely to bring rain and thunderstorms to Brandon and Neepawa. There's a chance it could impact Dauphin and Swan River as well, though it's lower at about 30%. For the most part, though, a mix of sun and cloud for that region. Much the same for us here. We start off clear, clouds build into the afternoon, strong northwesterly winds. The humidex not as severe as yesterday. Yesterday it was at about 45. Today it's at about 30 in our hottest times. And then northwestern Ontario, maybe some convection for you. Those very humid temperatures continuing. We see a break overnight at 18 degrees, and then tomorrow we get cooler with plenty of rain.
A former Manitoba MP and former mayor of Dauphin has been arrested in a months-long firearm trafficking investigation.
At least 3 firearms were illegally trafficked. At least 1 firearm had its serial number tampered with. and hundreds of the firearms were improperly stored inside the home. The 78-year-old male suspect was arrested without incidents at the residence.
Inky Mark is facing a slew of charges, including firearm trafficking and possession of property obtained by crime over $5,000. Officers say they've seized 439 guns, ammunition, an antique cannon, and more than $300,000 in cash. Police expect it will take several more weeks to document all the evidence and determine how many of the guns were illegally possessed. Inky Mark served as mayor of Dauphin from 1994 to 1997 as MP for Dauphin Swan River Marquette from 1997 to 2010. None of the allegations has been proven in court. Some roads and highways in southern Manitoba are suffering under the intense heat. Winnipeg City crews could be seen Monday afternoon in the Polo Park area working on this buckled road. A spokesperson for the city says they don't track calls for buckled roads specifically, but say emergency maintenance crews haven't been able to keep up.
Well, it's really difficult to predict where on a roadway it will happen because it depends on many conditions like traffic and what's going on underneath and the condition of the concrete to begin with, and whether there's curves in the road.
On Monday morning, a portion of the perimeter highway was shut down for the same reason. Concrete buckling happened on at least 7 highways Sunday, including stretches of highways 75, 59, and 8. The province says highways are cut at intervals, giving concrete room to expand, but buckling can happen if those joints are filled with sand and dust. Ontario has now spent $8 million to keep U.S. alcohol in storage. The province pulled $80 million worth of American alcohol off LCBO shelves 16 months ago in response to U.S. tariffs. An audit says almost all of the booze is still good. About $2.5 million worth of alcohol spoiled back in March. Ontario Premier Doug Ford maintains U.S. alcohol will stay off the shelves until the tariffs are dropped. According to Stats Canada, more than 7 million people live in households composed of parents and their adult children. If someone who lives with you is a licensed driver in some provinces, it's important that they're also listed on the parent's auto insurance policy. CTV's Pat Foran explains.
I feel very frustrated and very disappointed that this has happened to us.
Vivi and Mohammed Mirza of Markham say their son Adam moved in with them last year. It was supposed to be temporary. Adam borrowed his parents' car to go to a medical appointment and unfortunately was involved in a serious car accident. The claim was denied because their son wasn't listed on their policy.
We agreed that we then declared our son moved in here. He was living in Ajax when we bought the car.
The Mirzas appealed the decision, but their insurance company, Wawanesa, told them, you failed to disclose to your broker or Wawanesa that Adam operates the vehicle with your permission and lives in your household. As such, your right to recovery is forfeited and your claim is denied. The Mirzas say they still have a loan for the 2019 Mitsubishi and still owe $26,000. Now they're paying for a car they no longer have.
What is wrong in allowing your child to use your car for just the doctor's visit?
Anyone who is a regular and frequent operator of your vehicle should be listed on your policy.
The Insurance Bureau of Canada says all licensed drivers in a household should be included on your insurance policy.
When there's a significant change, even though you may think my son's moving back home, it's not a significant change. From an insurance company's perspective, it could be a significant change.
The Mirzas are devastated. They're making monthly payments on a car they no longer have and feel they should have received at least partial payment for their written-off vehicle.
We seem to be losing money constantly. We are dishing out, and we're left with the liability of a car loan and no settlement from an insurance company.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Here's what's happening now on Portage Avenue at Polo Park. Things are moving well. Looks like a smooth drive so far this morning. Let's look now at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.59. It's a small drop from yesterday, and the lowest price in the city is $1.51. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
And it's time now for your answers to our question of the day. We wanted to know, how do you budget for summer vacation? Marlene shared, all summer we save. We do road trips, and on winter we do big trips. Susan texted, I think staying close to home covers it, once or twice to my daughter's trailer. And for Kathleen, I budget summer fun by checking our free events, splash pads, sharing gas for beach rides, or making our living room a movie theater with all the goodness involved. Thank you so much for your responses.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic, science-backed body contouring.
And if you're looking for something fun to do that's really affordable, you could check out the Fringe Festival this summer. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. We haven't quite yet talked about Kids Fringe. Grimm's Fair Tales is one of the shows that you could see. Eden Valentine joins us now, and tell us about this show. It's very interactive, and every kid loves fairy tales.
Yes, so it's my feminist fairy tale show. I've taken some of the really old traditional Grimm's tales that were written way over 2,000 years ago, and I've updated them and brought them back to date, and I'm going to get kids out the audience. They're going to play parts in my story. We're going to tell the tales together.
How does that work?
So I just ask for volunteers, and a kid might get up and I'll say, so you're playing the wolf. You could be our wolf. So I'd say, we need some wolf ears. Okay. There we go. And a wolf coat. If I can just put that on
I was
you.
saying, I think I own something like this at home. Faux fur, man.
Faux fur gilet. Yes. So here we've got the wolf, and the wolf will be searching through the woods. Can you do like searching through the woods? And then the wolf sees Red Riding Hood, and the wolf leaps out in front of Red Riding Hood. And
I'm the predator. Darn it. I feel like I'm not doing a good job right now. Okay. Leaping.
Yeah. And then can you say, "Rawr"?
Rawr.
And then say to the little Red Riding Hood, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
We have an interaction between the child playing Red and the wolf, and then the story will continue. Yeah.
Why did the wolf turn into a truck? What are you doing here? I don't know where that accent came from.
Oh, that happens. It's brilliant. The kids come out with some hilarious accents. I had, because the wolf also then plays Granny. So I had a child do it recently where the wolf decided Granny was Scottish. So this kid was doing his own voice, and then the Granny being a Scottish Granny. No idea why, but that's the joy of working with kids. They come out with all sorts of things.
Where are you playing? Where can people catch you?
So it's part of the Kids Fringe, so it's on at MTYP Main House.
Okay. Anything else people should know? Because I understand you have an adult show too.
I do. So I travel around lots of fringes. I go all over the world doing fringes, and I find the best way to do it is to have a family show and an adult show. And I always say a family show, not a kids show, because it's for the whole family. There will be jokes in there for the adults as well. But yeah, the full adult show is called Thor's a Naughty Word. I'm not going to say it on camera. Viking Legends Not for Kids, and I've taken the traditional Viking stories from the Norsemen, and I'm going to tell them in a dark way.
Not for kids. Wait, that's the witch. Darn it. Not for kids.
I'm in. I'm so intrigued by this. I'd probably check out both shows. They both look fun. All right, out on the rooftop now. The sun is shining bright, Catherine.
Yeah, getting steamy. I think Ainsley is going to want to lose the fur because, wow, it's hot out here as temperatures really start to climb. We're at 21 degrees. It's sunny, clear. Winds are light, not doing a ton to cool me down in a wool blazer. Bad choice for today. Pressure is rising. Humidity sitting at 71%. So while it will be hot and above seasonal, nowhere near as humid as yesterday. Yesterday, the humidex was pegged at feeling more like 45 degrees. Today, it's going to be in the 30s. Still hot, still necessary to limit your time outside and take all those precautions. Highs, though, will be in the upper 20s to low 30s. For us here in Winnipeg, that's 29 degrees. We'll deal with increasing cloudiness throughout the day. And then into the southwest, however, a bit of a different story. A low pressure system moving into your neck of the woods brings a good chance of rain and thunderstorms for the Brandon area. Dauphin could get a taste, but likely to stay dry. Meanwhile, the northeast continues to contend with the risk of rain and thunderstorms today, while the rest of the north has a chance of it as well. Likely a mix of sun and cloud, very hot highs in the upper 20s. We're going to take a break. I'm going to go enjoy the AC, but stay with us. So much more CTV Your Morning Winnipeg on the other side.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
Have a news tip, When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
The medical examiner has determined U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham died of an aortic dissection. But what is this condition, and is it always deadly? CTV's Pauline Chan reports.
The aorta is the big tube that comes out of the heart, and dissection means it tears.
And as you can imagine, it's an extremely urgent situation.
It's one of the most acute and dramatic and high-risk illnesses we see in all of heart surgery. What happens is the big tube or the aortic tears and the blood rushes into the wall. It's associated with 95% mortality.
Senator Lindsey Graham was 71 and was reported to have had a brief and sudden illness when he died. Without knowing details of the senator's medical history, Dr. Bobby Yanagawa says high blood pressure is common as we age, and it may have been a factor. Aortic defects are rarely detected before these catastrophic tears, but a family history can give doctors a clue. Actor John Ritter and Canadian opera singer Misha Bruegger-Gosman-Lee are two other celebrities who've suffered aortic dissections. Bruegger-Gosman-Lee's was successfully treated.
The most common presentation is this: when people say, I have a 10 out of 10 excruciating pain that I've never felt, and it's tearing to my back. That's the characteristic pain of dissection.
Yanagawa says call 911 immediately if this happens. His other advice is to visit your doctor regularly to make sure your blood pressure is at a healthy level. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
A sweltering, record-breaking heat wave that is scorching the prairies is heading east. Warnings in place across 4 provinces. And broken records are also expected when the extreme heat reaches Ontario today. Here's CTV's Rahim Ledhani.
It doesn't matter whether you have 2 legs or 4. On a day like this, everyone is trying to keep cool.
I absolutely love it. The winter is difficult, but I also love it. So that means you have to love everything when it comes.
While most people at Sunnyside Beach are laying back and soaking in the sunshine.
Might as well enjoy while you can.
Not everyone agrees.
Do you like the heat?
No.
No?
Lots of drinks, nice and cold, water.
Staying hydrated will be crucial over the next several days as temperatures feel into the mid-40s with the humidity. For those who have to be outdoors for work, that can quickly turn an enjoyable hot day into heat exhaustion.
People get weak and dizzy because their blood pressure drops. They tend to get headache. Sometimes they can even start to vomit, and that unfortunately makes you even more dehydrated.
Health experts say regulating your body temperature during extreme heat is also important to reduce the burden on your brain.
Heat mimics anxiety. Symptoms such as sweating, racing heart, dizziness. These are common to being overheated and anxious, and your brain can mistake the two.
The City of Toronto has activated its heat relief strategy. That includes keeping 8 of its 57 outdoor pools open until just before midnight. Civic centers across the region are also extending hours for people to enjoy cool, filtered air.
Luckily, we have air conditioning. It's not the best, and I try to stay downstairs rather than upstairs, but I'll get through it.
Rahim Ladani, CTV News, Toronto.
A warning now about another rapidly rising tick-borne disease. CTV's Adrian Gabriel on why health officials are putting out an alert now.
In tall grass and along nature trails, a growing danger is lurking. Black-legged ticks have been expanding their geographical footprint in Canada, driven in part by milder winters. And now this Canadian Medical Journal report is flagging that a number of ticks aren't just carrying Lyme disease, some are spreading anaplasmosis. While rare, the tick-borne disease can be fatal.
There have been, unfortunately, 3 or 4 deaths related to anaplasmosis in the province of Ontario in the last 1 to 2 years.
They thought the heat was not going to make it.
During a long nature walk with his dogs in Halifax, Nova Scotia in July of 2022, Perry Horn believes he was bitten by a tick.
He had a high fever so much so that the bed was shaking.
He was sent home after his first 2 trips to Dartmouth General Hospital. Doctors initially thought he had COVID, though with his health rapidly declining, he was rushed back to the ER for a 3rd visit.
I woke up, my fingers were purple. My heart and kidneys were failing.
By noon the next day, the doctor was rushing him to the ICU because he wasn't getting any better and they had no idea what was going on.
It's there in the ICU that Horn was diagnosed with anaplasmosis. The most recent national data shows there were roughly 5,800 reported cases of tick-borne illness in Canada in 2024. More than 2,300 of those cases were found in each of Ontario and Nova Scotia. More than 830 were reported in Quebec, though case counts that include anaplasmosis are now believed to be even higher.
Doctor that looked after me said I was possibly the first case in Nova Scotia.
Anaplasmosis is now the 2nd most common tick-borne illness in Canada. The Horns are sharing their story to spread awareness across the country.
Nearly took me.
I had no idea if my husband was coming out of ICU.
Federal funding for TickNet Canada that brought together doctors and researchers who are battling the rise in tick-borne diseases came to an end in March, along with vital work that was being done. The government agency responsible for the cutbacks was unable to answer our questions before our deadline. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Hamilton, Ontario.
Spending time outside today amongst those creepies and crawlies, you're going to want to really dress for the conditions because it's going to be hot out there. 21 degrees. It is pretty sunny to kick us off. Winds out of the north-northeast at 8 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising, humidity sitting at 71%. Yes, another hot day, but the humidity will not be as stifling as yesterday. That's the good news. The bad news, we're tracking this low pressure system, bringing a chance of rain and thunderstorms to West Man. In and around Brandon and Nipawin has the strongest risk. Not what they want to see there with the ongoing flood issues. Meanwhile, heat warnings and watches have lifted in southern Manitoba, but do remain in central portions, as do air quality warnings due to those wildfires. Look for that smoke to persist today and that humidity not helping a lot. In terms of our heat, though, we did see a cold air mass roll in overnight. We'll start to see the effects in the coming days. Today, still hot above seasonal at 29. The difference, though, the humidex will feel more like into the mid-30s, where yesterday it felt more like 45. And then tomorrow, rainfall, cooler temperatures at 25, and they stick around for a number of days before the mercury heats up. We're taking a break. Don't go anywhere.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Influencers have taken over most people's social media feeds, and this man has taken them to task.
This place is sick. Come with me to my suite at the Four Seasons Scottsdale. I walked in and immediately felt at home. Here's
comedian Walker Ward is showing the differences between normal people and influencers when they travel, and the comparison is uncanny. From his script to his poses to his personal revelations, the similarities are silly but spot on.
I want him to do restaurants next. This is the best ever. A normal burger.
And then monkey see, monkey do, and toddler see, toddler do. This toddler clearly is imitating mommy or daddy, who may make a noise like this every time they pick something up. The kiddo probably thinks that's just what you do when you pick things up. Sounds like a sore back already.
No kidding.
Good stretch.
Cutie, though.
And have you heard of the Toy Story Challenge? Look at that. It's where you tense your body and do things as if you were a plastic toy from the Toy Story movies. This is Rebecca Bean, and she's sharing her passion for gymnastics with the Toy Story Challenge. She looks like a life-size Barbie doll. Can't bend those feet.
It's good she's got a lot of padding around her.
That is really well done. Wow.
That would be painful. My goodness.
Oh, wow.
Hope her
it really looks like she's the doll. That does it for us. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.